Raz, you still there?
Thank you, everybody. We're starting in exactly 4 minutes' time. Narayan, are you able to share the link to Microsoft Learn as well, please?
Sure, absolutely. I'll do that soon.
Hello, everybody. Okay, we're kicking off now. I think most of you have joined. So first and foremost, let me kick off the recording. Excellent. Okay. So Narayan, feel free to put your camera on. And for an introduction to the AI Bootcamp. Now, this bootcamp has been long in the making. It's part of a wider initiative with Microsoft Learn. Narayan shared the link to that initiative in the chat. What that initiative does is that this is a Kickstarter to that particular initiative. So today will be the first day of that boot camp, and then we'll carry on our learning immediately after that boot camp on a weekly basis. So that is the initiative by Microsoft. So you can see that link in the chat. I will be sharing that link with you here also. If you just bear with me 1 second, I'll share it on my screen. So it's called the Microsoft Learning Rooms Directory. Okay. And this is a brand new initiative by Microsoft. It's a mentorship program to help and facilitate people's learning, because our traditional approach was delivering these one-day boot camps, and Microsoft loved that concept. But what we want to do is carry on with that initiative. And so this is something that we want everyone to take advantage of, really. So the link is shared in the chat. You just need to click that link and basically to sign up. There's also some vouchers you're going to get, because the objective of this mentorship program is to help you pass your certifications for Microsoft business applications. That includes Dynamics, includes AI. So if you want to take advantage of that, you need to sign up to that. All the materials as well that will be shared on that channel as well. So the link is in the chat. I'll give you all a few minutes, 2 minutes, just to fill that out. So please click that link. So the link is in the chat. AI and enterprise business applications for Dynamics 365 Power Platform and AI co-pilots. Okay, so I'll give you all 2 minutes to click that link. This is a link. You just simply click that link, and we do have vouchers. COVID. And last year we did events. But it's great to be able to do another virtual event, and we will be trying to carry on this online learning as well, particularly around AI. So the first thing that is going through the agenda. So we'll be kicking off with an introduction to AI. AI is new for a lot of people here. Some people are a bit confused about the various flavors of AI and Microsoft's strategy and how it compares with others. So and then that will go into OpenAI and Azure with Narayan, followed by Copilot Studio with Ambesh. And then Copilot for Dynamics 365 with Arpit. So that's the speakers lined up for today. It won't be too long. Normally our boot camps are a whole day, right? 12 to 16 hours. Today's boot camp is 4 hours, and then we'll be carrying on the learning on regular intervals to make things easier, because I know there's fatigue, and there's something called digital fatigue, whereby you get sapped because you're working all week. We understand that, and so we're shifting our strategies when it comes to learning with this Microsoft Learn initiative. Another shout out for our next in-person bootcamp, which is D365 Summit. Most of you here will be involved in Dynamics. of a large language model for machine learning, and the architecture and the business logic. There needs to be a very large architecture to support this. And again, the cloud has made that more accessible. The containerization, the very large data sets, and the DevOps around that, as well as security, and the prompting tools, which Narayan will also show shortly. So there has been several factors that have aided to the convergence of these technologies to be able to facilitate the progression of AI that we have reached today. I like to throw this in because Turing is from Manchester, my hometown, and the Turing test is basically something that Alan Turing devised to determine the progression of AI and humans and the singularity. So many people have stated that ChatGPT has reached that, but it actually hasn't. And so one of the terminologies that you may be familiar with is hallucinations, right? So when you see, for example, in generative AI, and for example, you'll notice little quirks in the generative AI, which as a human being, is incorrect. Okay, and that's what we want to prevent. And those hallucinations are based on the machine learning investments, and where there are gaps within the data sets that we need to then reinvest our machine learning in. But yeah, there's some false information out there around ChatGPT and Turing test. It hasn't actually broken the Turing test yet. Once it does, then that's when we've reached singularity. So generative pre-trained transformers, GPT, that's what the hype is today, particularly around generative AI. This has been pioneered by OpenAI, which next session we'll go deeper into. And they are providing the architecture, and now you're aware of Microsoft's version of the Azure OpenAI, and the prompting that it supports. However, what I want you to be aware of is when we're building co-pilots, there's another flavor of AI in addition to what you're all aware of. So you're all aware of GPTs, and many of you would have heard about decision trees. But there's another approach called RAG, which is more relevant to those people working in business applications. And that's an important concept for you all to be aware of, because when you are building co-pilots, we're adopting the RAG approach, which is what you can see on the screen right now, where you are training the large language models, and the machine learning has to incorporate specific data sets, in our case, which is business applications data. For many of you who are aware of Dynamics 365 and Dataverse, that's where the knowledge sources will be defined. It also speaks about the history of where Copilot came from. So Copilot, which is what we'll be focused on today, is the AI assistant, which uses those generative AI and large language models to help you complete those business operations. And the reason why Copilot is really, Microsoft is investing so much in Copilot is because the sheer adoption of the AI and the GPT models, has proven itself that users are adopting that. And one of the challenges that you have in business applications is adoption. Anyone who uses any form of business application, whether it can be Dynamics, it can be Salesforce, it can be SAP, it can be Oracle, it can be anything. There's a big challenge. You have to be an expert. You have to have many years of experience just to be able to use the application, because you're dealing with enterprise business data. So what Copilot has done is it's actually closed that gap to allow people to, number one, easily find the data that they're looking for and complete the tasks. And that's where you'll find that value. And that's why Microsoft is hugely investing in that, because it is going to really drive that gap in user adoption. You're all aware of the generative AI. Now, the RAG, which is the retrieval augmentation generation, this is what we want to leverage today, right? We want to leverage that business applications data to be able to support the AI models to retrieve the relevant data for context, because context is king. Context is everything, right? You can have it. There's AI out there, but what it's missing is context. And the reason why AI doesn't work very well is because it's not passing in the context. What we're trying to achieve is we want to pass in the relevant context for the AI to give us the most accurate and most relevant, informed, insightful information we can achieve. And that's where RAG comes in. That's where Copilot leverages. We talked about the generative pre-trained transformers, the GPTs. Now, as of right now, for Copilot, it's not there, but it's on Microsoft's roadmap, and you'll be hearing about that very soon. That's where Copilot will sit with the GPT and RAG. Right now, from a RAG perspective, anyone who's actually used Power Virtual Agents, well, that's a representation of the bot framework and RAG. That's the fundamentals around what it was. And then what you have now with the Copilot incorporating GPTs, that takes us away from the traditional Power Virtual Agent architecture more towards the GPT and the full AI experience. And so you have plugins which will be going deeper. So Ambesh and RPIT will be going more deeper into how to enable plugins. And when I talk about plugins, so the people who are coming from a Dynamics 365 perspective, or from an AI or Power Platform developer perspective, I'm not talking about the traditional .NET plugins that you develop for Dynamics, but a plugin can be anything. It can be a connector in Power Platform. It can be something that's been imported from Azure AI Studio, a prompt. You can develop a prompt and then deploy it as a plugin in Copilot. I'm not going to go too much in detail because we're going to be covering that. This is just getting you familiar with the terminology, because a lot of people do get lost in the terminology. And then you got connectors. So, for example, Microsoft 365 Copilot has the pre-built connectors for the Graph API. So looking at the architecture of what we came from, for the people who are aware, who have worked with the Dynamics ecosystem, to understand what is the difference between Copilot and what we had previously. Well, what you're looking at now is what we had previously, which was Power Virtual Agents. And where we're moving from and to. So this is the traditional approach, and this is the new world. Okay, so here we've got the architecture for Microsoft Copilot 365. Most of you have seen this diagram shared on Microsoft blogs and on LinkedIn. And this is the framework that we'll be using moving forward for all of Microsoft's Copilots. You can see the obviously the Copilot providing the support for the user prompting, the integration with the large language models, and then you've got the connectors where we can enable the integrations with the Microsoft Graph, Dataverse, Power Platform. You can see the plugins there too. So let's take a bit of an overview now of the Copilot stack. So the Microsoft 365 Copilot, which is built largely around Graph API. For those who are not aware about Graph API, it essentially exposes the data sets for Microsoft 365 business application, all that user information, that contextual information that's very useful in business scenarios when it comes to user calendars and availability. That's highly useful. If you're a Dynamics developer, then in an enterprise scenario, then you've had at one point in your career to have to lean on that Graph API to be able to get that contextual information about your business users. And then you've got the other Copilot. So Microsoft has released Sales Copilot, Service Copilot. There's Copilots for Power Platform. Now, it's important to mention here that there are Copilots for different types of personas. You've got your users, okay, so your system users. You've also got your customers. So something like PVA, which is now Copilot Studio, which Ambesh will be showing you, that is something that's for your customers. That's something that you're going to expose on your web applications to allow your customers to interact with your business data, with your knowledge bases. So we've talked about system users, then you've got the customers, and then you've got Copilots for automation, for your developers. So people who are building your automations in your business, the low-code developers, the citizen developers, there is a scenario there for Copilot. So now, and that's something which ARPIT will be showing. Now, I know ARPIT's also covered this for Power Pages and how you can start building these front end customer facing web applications using the Copilot for Power Pages. And that's a great example of that scenario, but also Power Automate, and Microsoft is embedding it in everything. The one I'm most excited about is Copilot for GitHub, because now you're taking that professional development experience and now you're supplementing it with AI to again, it feels as though developers are getting, every type of developer now is getting that revolution when it comes to development. It's no longer a case of a low-code developer, but even professional developers now are being disrupted, not disrupted, but being augmented and facilitated. And again, I want to emphasize that this is more of a facilitation. Yes, AI is disrupting, but there's disruption has been occurring all the time. You know, it's been happening for every day. We're being disrupted, right? And I think there's a lot of fear mongering around AI. There are genuine concerns around security and data, but disruption has been happening for as long as civilization. From the fact that we're no longer transporting horses and goats and donkeys are no longer the main form of transportation. The print press, right? It's disrupted many different shoes, you know, cobblers and all these ironmongers and stonemasons, and all these careers have been disrupted, and we're going to see that next phase of disruption. So it's important to be an early adopter of AI. Those who succeed are the ones who adopt early. So leveraging this AI technology will allow you to be one of the few who are the early adopters, to be able to take advantage of the technology and to use it to solve the world's problems. So when we're talking about Copilot Studio, which again was in the old world was Power Virtual Agent, that provides various types of plugins to allow you to build your Copilot. So the bot framework is what it was previously, and it's there. But now you've got the Azure AI Studio, which you can build custom prompts with. You've got Azure Cognitive Services. You've got the Power Platform connectors. You've got AI Builder. So the plugin authoring experience, again, that's something which Ambesh will be showing. But you can also leverage flow connectors and plugins. The topic plugin is something that's native to Copilot Studio and Power Virtual Agents. The topics is how you would build that customized language model for your given specific use case and scenarios. That's where the topic comes into play, and that's again something that's just been augmented. That's already been there as part of Power Virtual Agents and the bot framework, but Microsoft has made investments to augment it further with the topic plugin. So moving forward, one more thing I want to mention: when you're building your Copilots, one of the important concepts is around conversational intelligence and dialogue management. Because for those who are developers, traditional Power Platform Dynamics developers, we were very much involved in the kind of back end side of development. Because the front end, if you're a model apps, for example, developer, it was already there for you just to use, and it made development very, very easy. When it comes to Copilots and AI, it's a very much a user-driven interactive experience. And therefore, this concept of dialogue and conversation logic has to be something you now consider as part of designing solutions with AI and Copilot. And that's the fundamental reason why ChatGPT has been so successful. And to be honest, it has a lot of room to grow. It's very early in its stages when it comes to that conversational intelligence with prompting. It uses prompting, but that user flow is still missing. And that's where the ISVs are jumping in and providing that and baking it into their solutions. And that's where Copilot, you need to be aware of if you are building a Copilot, because one of the architectures that Copilot is built on and you're leveraging is adaptive cards, for example, right? Which provides that very neat UI experience to interact and serve information. So that's something just to be aware of when it comes to scripting or responses and building Copilot. So you've got options now when it comes to building Copilots. You can use an existing Copilot, whether you customize the M365 Copilot, or you can build your own using Copilot Studio, or you can use Azure AI Studio to build your Copilots. Now, the main difference between Copilot Studio and Azure AI Studio is that you actually can build specific large language models and prompting with the Azure AI Studio, and then you can deploy it into your Copilot. So, this is a great decision tree really as to when to decide to use Copilot Studio and when you want to use Azure AI Studio. I know I'm running out of time, guys. I've only got a couple of minutes left. But let's move on. So it's going to finish off really. So I'm going to finish off now and hand over to Narayan. But the main thing that you all need to be aware of is that there is a time and a place for each component and tool when it comes to building AI solutions. You've got Azure AI Studio, which Narayan will be covering, and OpenAI. Sorry, he'll be focusing more on the OpenAI. And then we've got the M365 Copilot extensibility, and then the custom Copilot. So that's what we'll be covering today. So thank you, everyone. So now I'd like to hand over to Narayan. Narayan, over to you.
Thank you, Raz. Really appreciate it. It's a kind of good knowledge you have shared already. Some basic knowledge about the decision tree, what is a large language model, how the Copilot operates, and some of those basic area, which is fantastic. Thanks, Raz. Really appreciate it. Okay, I'm just going to share my screen. So if you can give me thumbs up and confirm that you can see my screen. You can, correct? Yeah, perfect. Okay, excellent. So let me just give a basic introduction. So I'm Narayan Solanki. I'm a Microsoft certified trainer. I'm also a regional lead for UK and EMEA. So I can certainly help. If you are MCT and needs more help or support, please reach out to me. I love to learn new technologies and even go with the certification exams. I've got plenty of certification on belt. On the main job, I work as enterprise and solution architect. Having that main job, I come across a lot of scenarios where you require different type of technology, and I'm a kind of a big fan of Microsoft stack of technology, and provide all the relevant solutions for it. So before I start, let me make it a little bit interactive. So let me ask you one simple question. When it comes to Azure AI or Microsoft AI services, what is your knowledge level? So I can tailor my demos and everything according to that. I don't have to pre-prepare or anything So if you give me thumbs up, that means you are basic, new to Azure AI. And if you have raised smiley, that means you are the expert. So let's see, like, who's actually, yeah, fantastic. Thank you. This is what I like about, like, when it comes to interactive, it's more fun. So yeah, we got some hands up. So we have only thumbs up or the smiley, but hands up I consider as a basic. So what I'm going to cover today is to start with basic. I don't want to give, like, too much of pressure on you, because AI can go really, really difficult as well. But let's keep today's session is more like a no code or even low code, that kind of concept. In future, we will cover up a lot more in-depth session where we will demonstrate the script, we will build the script, we will choose the languages, like either C#, Python, or Go, or Java, or JavaScript. These are the different languages are supported in AI. We can use those and, like, produce different demos and also go on different courses. But don't forget to subscribe to Learn Room. In that, like, even if you don't have a session going on, if you have a question and you'd like to discuss some technical element, or you even doing like proof of concept in your organization, or you are actually going to work on a new AI based project, whether it's ready to use model you're going to use, or you're going to customize the model. And if you have any question, you can post your question there. We will come back to you, and we will regularly take some of those small sessions, like hourly sessions every week or 2 weekly, something like that. So we can share our knowledge. Whatever we are gaining, we will share it immediately. We will share the resources. We will share anything online available, like whether it's a certification course or whether it's a self-learning course or anything like that, or even other groups. If they are running a very good course, if you join us, we will definitely share those links with you, so you are always up to date. Great. So without further ado, let's start with some of the basic stuff. So I'm calling this as an Azure AI service. I know that previously what Raz has demonstrated, which is fantastic, there was a one word mentioned about cognitive services. If you are used to hear that Azure cognitive service, that is the same thing. That's the same thing, but it has a new name called Azure AI Services. So cognitive services and the other AI-based IoT services, they all merge together under one roof. It's called Azure AI Service. So it's very, very simple to understand on that one. But when we come to AI services, it's not only OpenAI. It's a lot of things are covered in it. So what is it? So we have Azure OpenAI is a service. We will go a little bit in depth about the OpenAI today. We will talk about it. We will see some Azure OpenAI Studio element as well. There is a one thing I like to share, that, like, gaining access of the OpenAI is not straightforward by clicking a button and deploy the service. It requires some process to follow. In today's demo, I haven't got that process approval came in time, so we won't be demonstrating on, like, building a model, but I have enough to show you today to cover in 1 hour. So what are these services, different services? So in future sessions, we will cover up these services more in detail, some use cases, some demos, and so on. So Azure OpenAI, which we're going to discuss today, what is it? It just provides a wide variety of natural language tasks. Whether I talk to someone and I get the answer. So, like, I'm talking to a genius who has all the details and they just give me back those answers. I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible and try and avoid using too complex terminologies. But that doesn't mean you don't need to learn that. Make sure you learn those complex terminologies as well. You understand all the short form like GPT and whatever it is, like, generative pre-trained model. All this, like, all the stuff, you have to grab those knowledge to get yourself more fluent. So Azure AI services also includes speech service. It's the name suggests, it's a speech to text or text to speech. And you got the language, which is kind of really, really useful nowadays. You got translator service, which is, like, provides more than 100 in use translate services. And that is, at the moment, it's not very accurate. So you just, like, you need to use it at risk. And those translation services, it's been really helpful. So if I give you my example, I was traveling to Germany the other day, and I was struggling to understand German language. And I opened up Microsoft Translator. I opened up ChatGPT and just say, okay, convert this sentence or translate this sentence into English, and it just used to do it. And one of the scenario I just gave you, like I went to supermarket and I couldn't eat egg, and I just told them can you tell me in this there is no egg included? And I don't know what egg in German called. So I just translated. And it's just day-to-day life, normal users, it just becomes a lot easier. It's still not accurate, it's still learning, it's still improving, but it's quite up to a certain level, it's really useful. We got Vision, which is as the name suggests, is about the images and videos, and it analyzes its content, and it tells you what is happening at what level, what stage of what time code. So that is a kind of a vision model is there. We have a custom vision, because when it comes to vision, your business, if it is business operating in the video production or business operating in those kind of image production, I'll tell you one example I had the other day. One customer came to me asking for oh, I like to generate random images of a person, and person should not exist in the world. It's so difficult. But that the custom vision, you can train it up. And how you can train it up? By putting all this different type of element of a face. So whether it's got the hair, it's got the skin color, skin dimension, nose structure, your eyebrows, your lip structure, all this combination you can give randomly and generate an image. It's sometimes scary, isn't it? It's really scary, yeah. And I'll go through a few slides about the security stuff and how we can cover that up as well. The other one is the face detection. You probably have seen in many Hollywood movies where they literally either the federal agencies scanning the video of street and just detecting if the person is walking by. Even in this recent movie Mission Impossible, I was just seeing they scanning on the airport and people are walking by, and they actually scanning the one of those actor and say whether it's is there or not. So this face detection is identifying people, and also not only that, it's emotion as well. So currently emotion is one of those good example it can be used. So say for example, I'm on a video chat with you, I'm smiling, and it should detect I'm happy, I'm upset, I'm not giving any response, so it's neutral. So those kind of emotions it can detect. So that's a face is the model. Then we have a content safety. So it's an AI service which literally detects unwanted content. So if say I'm on social media and it's someone publishing or posting some sorts of harmful content, it just it detects the content and filter that. Bot service, we will know a lot of things in the Copilot Studio, so just hold on to it. But bot service, as name suggests, is a two-way communication, and it just go through your content library, bring the relevant answer, and serve to your customer. So that's a bot service. It could be one of the good example. Document intelligence. It's a kind of one of those services, and where you publish a document, which is either structured or unstructured document, and you try and extract the information, fill out, use that information to fill out into your software applications and produce a result. So it could be as simple as asking people to fill in a paper form or fill in online form, which is they're writing it up, where you need to detect the information from that structured form. Or even a simple example, people do those expense submission, simple. So employees need to submit their receipts. Receipts could be in a different structure, but receipts has some basic elements like tax ID, total amount, item description, So I'll give you one example on a document intelligence one recently, one of the project we worked on where we had to process certain receipts in the HR system. And when we're processing it, there are some rules needs to be applied. So example, you cannot claim alcohol expenses. You cannot claim first class tickets. So it actually identifies within that and raises the approval consent and says, okay, Mr. or Ms. HR, like look at it, this receipt doesn't comply with our rules and regulation, so it cannot be automatically approved. That's another, like one of the scenario. Either you have another scenario where like a contract, like so if you are working with a lot of suppliers, there are contracts needs to be in place. Contract has lots of legal terms, lots of clauses which needs to be covered up, and the clauses are driven by the nature of supply they are doing, whether there's services which is hazardous services, or where there are services are the basic services, or whether there are services which relate to our data or laptops and computer. So you might want to have a clause called data privacy. If that doesn't include in a contract document, you want to reject this automatically. So it actually helps organization's employee to work on a very, very effective manner. So this is very, very important. Like, those kind of model can really, really help you automate your processes and speed up your processes as well in your application itself. Azure AI Search is one of the service, like example, Bing Search. It's a similar to it. I wouldn't call it like exactly the same one, but Azure AI Search, which actually AI powered cloud-based search. So when your application pushes data sets and says, okay, this is the data sets I want to actually perform a search on. If you create your own search engine or create your indexing searches and everything within your premises, you need a lot of power on the resources where you can utilize this service and model Azure AI Service. So it can actually understand the language, understands different pronunciation, it understands the different variation of the use, because I can just say like, hello, how are you doing? And someone says, how's your day been going? So it's probably like in a similar kind of tone they are getting. But if I want to search the relevant content towards that, Azure AI Search is your friend. The other one is a video indexer. So it extracts actionable insight from your video. So in your video, if you are saying like, you're in a meeting right now, and within the meeting, you just mention that like, okay, Raz, can you go and create this document, and we need to present this document in 2 weeks time. So in that video, it can actually, this model can extract that action and create probably an appointment if you like to create it, and also like, create a task for Raz and puts a priority, puts like, urgency, and that can get assigned. And the last one right now in terms of, and these other services are currently present, but it doesn't mean it's going to stay like this. You have to continuously look at all these services, and there will be new service probably gets added. So I will show you like where you can monitor this like in a list of services. So the last one is a immersive reader, which helps user to read comprehend text. I would call like this kind of a services is really helpful in terms of like to support the disabilities, or like I can understand some people have learning difficulties or reading difficulties, and they can actually like use those kind of services as well. So AI really helping you getting to that like one step ahead in terms of whether it's going to be a disability or it's going to be any sorts of support you need, your employer needs or employee needs or your consumer needs. Let me call it like consumer. It could be user, it could be anyone else, system users. So this is what is like within the services it's happening. And And there are many more models. These are the kind of high level service, but within the service itself, you have plenty of models. So we will see in OpenAI Studio, and similar to that, you can explore different type of model. About there are 2,000, 3,000 models you can actually explore. These are the ready to use models. So coming to OpenAI, this is what we would like to discuss today as a high level. So again, I'm saying high level because it's a kind of in-depth topic. It requires good attention, good amount of time, and so on. So Azure OpenAI service is nothing but the OpenAI service, now the service provided by Microsoft in Azure Stack. So it's already hosted for you, managed, maintained, and secured by Microsoft. So you don't have to worry about all these heavy lifting resources where lots of NVIDIA power and processing you need to do. It's Microsoft in Azure Stack. It actually provides you that. So it's ready to use. You just have to enable that service, and there's a process for it. So what that includes in this OpenAI models, it has GPT-4. GPT-4 Turbo for Vision, and that's related to the Vision, GPT 3.5 Turbo, DALL-E 3, and other embedding models. We will see the list in demo section, and we will see how you can actually spin up. I have, just to speed the things up, I have spinned up one of the model, so you will be able to see the flow. So that's a kind of OpenAI. If you are technical enough to understand what it does, it actually provides the REST API access. So you have a URL and a key, which is very important. And once you use that API and key, that means it gives you the authoritative access. And if you are more technical to understand, it also supports system managed identity as well. So you don't have to rely on just a key and URL. You can go with the system managed identity, and that's how you can access these services. Every service is what previously Raz also mentioned, that it requires a prompt. So you have to initiate the prompt, and the prompt gets processed, and then you get the response back. So in that two-way communication, each prompt considered as a token. So I'll show you how you can actually calculate the token, how many tokens are used. Typically, I would say approximately about 4 characters consumes 1 token. But we will see there is a calculator provided by OpenAI, which we can use that to predict approximate cost. I will also show you quickly on Azure Calculator how we can calculate the total amount of cost. Yep. Okay, so in this one, as I said, it's a prompt, it's a specific task we are requesting, and let me show you some example. I think it's in one of the slide. I will show you what are the typical examples are. So what models are available? As we discussed, there are different type of model, but there's a dedicated model page. Let me actually send that link afterwards. So I'll show you, share this link with you where you can explore all the list of models available. You have the fine tuning. The feature is in the preview, so you don't have to use the as-is model. You can fine tune it according to your need. And also, you can use that model to consume only your organizational data or mix of data, where you can restrict, say, okay, this organizational data needs to be processed, but not needs to be shared in open space. But I would like to retrieve some information from Wikipedia. I like to retrieve some information from other open space or other ChatGPT data sources or machine ML-based data sets. I can still do it. Yeah. So I have got you two architecture. We will actually understand if we consume only our data or if we consume the external data, how the security gets impacted. Okay. So you need what you need in terms, it's a managed identity is supported, but what you need in terms of the UI experience, you need Azure portal. So you have to have access to the Azure portal, and also you need to have the Azure OpenAI Service Studio to fine tune it. And there are multiple models available as I described, and there are content policies can be enforced. Okay, so let's have a bit of understanding about the few of the models here. So like say ChatGPT 4, everyone understand, and 3.5. So there are two models there. It's just improvement from the 3.5 to like in a new version they have called is 4. There is an embedding model, a set of model that convert text into numerical vectors form. And so those kind of like facilities are available. DALI, everyone aware, like it's more like an image processing. So you can generate new original sets of images. So you can use the DALI model. You got Whisper. It's transcribe and translate speech to text service. You already using it like on your mobile. You click off the like in a microphone icon, and it uses that kind of services. So the Whisper services are heavily utilized there. Text to speech. It's currently in preview, but again, like you are utilizing this, so you can actually type a text and it just converts into speech. Whether you can use it into the video production, like social media production, many users are now using it because they don't want to give their own voice on that. So what they can do, they can just write up a paragraph, and the model is actually converts into the audio. So it's in the speech model. A little bit of history. So it's not today. It started in 1950s. So again, we don't have to go into detail. It's nothing to do with like any of the exam or anywhere it's going to be asked. But it's just something like it's a high level understanding. So in 1950s it started AI concept, and people are started like describing about the AI concerns, model writing, the mathematical formulas, and so on. It was on the computer there, but they started like how the artificial intelligence will work. And then in 1990s the machine learning, after that deep learning and generative AI in 2020s, like it started getting highlighted. That's where like lots of other different organizations started modeling. And yeah, now that like there are no limits, there are lots of things are happening in the AI world, and not only the Microsoft, but there are other leaders are actually also jumping into the area and producing quite interactive, quite informative, quite excellent models there, which can be readily used. So if I want to provision OpenAI, what do I do? So I just simply log in to Azure portal. I can search for OpenAI, or you can search for Azure OpenAI. I'll show you like how you can search this, and once it's there, it will ask you some basic questions about what subscription you want to assign to, what resource group needs to be. You can create a new resource group if it does not exist. Region where your data needs to reside, very, very important, because you need to make sure you decide the correct region for your data residency and the processing element for GDPR or any other perspective. Do you really want to expose those sensitive data? If you do, make sure you actually comply with this. You give a unique name. Remember, this is where it requires a unique name. Unique name means it's not only in your organization, but it's worldwide. Unique name needs to be there. It's just because of your model. And then pricing tier. Pricing tier can only be visible or accessible once Microsoft has approved your application. So it's not the service which you just click off the button and it just spins up. You have to go through the form submission. I'll show you like what kind of form it looks like. What do you need to do? It can take up to 24 hours. And probably Microsoft will ask you, are you responsible, like, are you following all the guidelines from responsible AI or not? So those kind of details. You can apply. So there is a link which you can use to apply for it. And once you have done, once it's authorized, either you can go with the portal or you can write a simple command like this. So it's AZ command. I'm not sure any of you have used it. If not, you can use this. And if you are familiar with the PowerShell, or if you are familiar with the Cloud Shell, you can use the AZ command. You can say it says cognitive services. It doesn't say AI services at the moment. You create the account, which is creation. You give your name and all the other details which you can relate to here. So these are the same detail. You give your subscription ID and click of the command, it just executes it. So we have something Microsoft has got available for us now, and this is called OpenAI Studio. And it makes life a lot easier. So if I want to deploy a model to my subscription, how would I do that? So I have this OpenAI Studio available, and I got a demo for it. So we'll jump onto the demo soon. Once you go to the OpenAI Studio, that's where you can start using these different models, and there are so many of them. Trust me, once you look at it, you need to spend good enough time to understand which model does what and how many different models are available. So that is one of the exercises you must do. Okay. And once you want to deploy generative AI models, again, it's a similar way. But if you use OpenAI Studio, you use a deploy model. That's where you create your select your model. You create select the model version. So example, ChatGPT or GPT model 3.5, but it has different versions to it. You can select the most relevant version you need it for your services, and then you give your unique deployment name and click on a create, and within a few minutes it gets created. If you're familiar with the Cloud Shell or command line interface, you can use again in a similar kind of command, AZ command, cognitive services, and that's how you can deploy it. Okay. So before I go into the prompts and other detail, we'll switch back to some quick demo. So let me just get the screen. Okay, so first of all, I like to take you back into the one prompt here. So I have this one subscription doesn't have this service available, or it's enabled. So what happens when you select the subscription? You select even resource group, but it will tell you a prompt here. Let me just enlarge it just in case if you are not able to read it. And here you need to actually do this request. So it says click here to request access to Azure OpenAI service. You must do this process. So currently you are not seeing this because there are no pricing tier available. The service itself is not available. What would you do? When you click on it, it opens up one of this form, and you fill up this form. You fill up your detail. You fill up your how many subscription you need. So probably if you're operating in dev, UAT or dev, test, and production model, you have 3 different subscription. You can just access for the maximum 3. You then need to give the subscription ID, which you can retrieve from your Azure. Once you have done this, you must supply your organization email ID. Do not send Hotmail, Gmail, or Outlook or some other personal IDs because it will decline straight away. And you have to start this process again. You give your company name, company address, and the basic information, your company website, your contact phone number, just in case if the approval process requires some clarification, they can reach out to you. And if you have somebody from the Microsoft has recommended you this service and you want to initiate this, you can recommend, you can put down the details and then the services you require. So you can select more than one services. Once you have and other thing, I just like to mention question 16, you can only request the services for your own organization. So if you're working for customer, you need to make sure your customer fills in this form with all the correct details. Okay. Then you acknowledge all the terms and conditions. You must read this. There are quite good information available in here. So if you are selling these services and if you are working for a consultancy company, make sure you read this so you can explain it to your customer. Yeah. There are data processing details. Yeah, you have to just tick those boxes. Once you have done this, you submit it. Once you have submitted, it can take up to 24, even a little bit longer. But then once you get the approval, you will get the notification. So now I have a demo of here, something is called AI Studio. So what that AI Studio, it's still in preview. So don't start utilizing it in your production systems yet. So please wait. Anything in a preview, it's not recommended to use in your production system. So yeah, I'd like you to be careful with that. Here you have different AI services which you can select. So it's a studio. We are going in like, it's Open AI Studio, the current example I'm going to give you, but you can actually go into the different studios as well here. So you have Language Studio, Speech Studio, Vision Studio, and so on. You must log in with your organization ID. So it's very important you log in with your organization ID, which has a subscription access. So it is important because when it spans out as a new project, it requires the subscription access. What level of access requires? In some services, you have to be owner. So that is very important. So probably a global admin can deploy it for you. But once the project has been created, you can start exploring in a different services. So what is this page is explaining about all the different type of model, catalog, and the other SDK services. So why do I need Azure AI SDK, Software Development Kit? If I'm developing an application, which is probably Windows-based application or Windows Store or anything like that, and it's my own application which requires the AI-based solution to be implemented, I need to use SDK to make those calls to AI services. It's you're calling the cloud-based services, so there's no difference to it, but your application needs to have some sorts of library, some sorts of kit, which can actually talk to OpenAI services or Azure AI services. So that's why you need SDK. So you can go to SDK and download that and embed within your application. Okay. I've created one project, so I'll take you through the project, but let me just click through Explore. So within Explore, now you can see the magic of like in a studio where this is a model catalog. So based on my filter collection, I've given all the collection just to like quickly, easily understand and without spending too much time. Based on that, it has found 1,617 model. And there are different models available. You can just click on the model and then look at that services. It will explain about the service. You click on deploy and it will ask you a number of questions. When you click on deploy, it will then go into that. I still don't have the access or approved access, so I'm not going to get that done here. I can give the deployment name. I can select the model. Once I have access, it will allow me to select a model. And then I can select a project, either existing project or create a new project. And that's where I can deploy these services. Yeah. You also have the model link, which you can utilize for your SDK purposes. Okay, let me go back to the catalog here. So here, if I want to just like literally fetch directly just Azure OpenAI or Llama 2 or Mistral Large model, I can just click on the view model and it will just give me the filtered view of like, how many other OpenAI models. So I can filter it, look at those models, and based on the whatever the relevant model is for my utilization, I can just click on that, yeah, and deploy it. Okay. There are model benchmark. If you like to compare models, you can actually select the multiple model and then compare it. What it gives you, it's quite good information about the accuracy of the model, cohorts, and the fluency of the model. So here you can compare multiple models and you can see all the details. So for example, if you are an architect, if you are a business analyst and you need to produce certain type of documentation to convince your customer or employer, why would you use this? So you can actually literally produce all this detail, capture it in your documentation and submit it. So it's quite handy to give you all this different type of information, and which is quite useful. So you can also go into deep dive and just look at all this average score information and everything. Okay. I hope it's not getting too heavy. I try to simplify as much as I can. But if you have any further question, please post in your chat. I think I need to look at the chat here. Okay, I haven't seen any question, to be honest.
There was one question from Dollar asking about the most popular. Well, actually, the term used was the most critical programming language for AI?
Okay, so as I said, it supports currently at the moment widely Python and then C# in Microsoft World. We have Java is also utilized in many places. JavaScript is now also coming up, and there is another language called Go. So these are the 5 languages I have seen in my experience. I have seen widely used. Again, it depends on how much fluent you are in that language. That is the first criteria for you to select that language. If you want a wide support, I have seen lots of support in Python because Python is getting utilized by non-Microsoft organizations as well. So Python is widely used. So if you are looking into that way, if you are say you don't know any of the language and you want to learn a new language, I personally recommend Python and C#. These are the 2 to start with. Again, depending on your usage, if you're going to develop all the web-based applications or web apps, your other applications you're going to utilize like Power Platform, Dynamics 365, I would just simply use C# or Python in one of those. For me to use it, if I'm doing the programming, I use C# because that's what I'm used to it. And I'm using Microsoft Stack of Text, so it just makes sense for me to use that. I hope that answers your question. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to get you some of the basic information, and then we move on. I got a number of other things to show you as well here. So we have other prompt catalog, so which you can use it. So if I want to prompt and say, is there any defect detector? So this is a can where what kind of defect is it? So here is a test image you supply, and this is a reference image for the accuracy, and that's how you can actually play around with that. So there are a lot of data you need to prepare. So if you are working in AI and if you don't have the good enough data knowledge, I would say start there. Understand your data first. Understand that data can be not only the just records and columns. Data could be your images, data could be your videos, data could be any of the source data, structured or unstructured data is there. You must understand the data first before you train your models or before you ask your model or send your prompts. So it is very important. If I'm in real life, if I'm implementing these AI services for my customers, and when I'm publishing it, I'm actually training end users saying what the prompt look like. I'll give them example of the prompts. So I give them a scenario. In most of the cases, to be honest, the users just follows whatever the examples you are given. Some users are very, very proactive. They go very interactive. They try and explore the different prompts. So that's fantastic. And they really, really help you train your model as well. And those are the type of the users can make this model more accurate, because they can supply different type of combination, which probably you might not reach up to that because you understand the technology, but you don't understand their business model. So it's very important to understand data, the model, the process, and so on. Okay, so I have one project built. So let me just quickly explore and show you what that look like. When you deploy, it spins up about 7-8 different type of project and the sub project element or the resources, what we call it. I have spinned up one just simple one here for you. It's just for the demo purpose, and you can see it's if it is a ChatGPT from Wikipedia. So how that flow look like, just for your understanding. So it gives the input. Once the input it gives, it just then extract the query from a question. Then it goes to the get wiki URL. It goes to the result from the URL. Then it processes the search result, augmented chat, and then it gives the output. So here you can see this some examples, some code details, and everything. So this is a beauty of AI Studio, which really, really helped you moving your project in a super fast pace. Again, this the once you have actually created this project, you can choose your runtime. Start with the advanced setting or start just normal. It's like if you have used Visual Studio, it is something similar. You can start a runtime, and then it will actually go into the prompt. When you supply the prompt, you add the prompt, and it will just give you the query on that result on it. Say, what is the national? Okay, I think it's a node name. Okay, I would stop this demo here because I still don't have the approval, so I just don't want to run anything which could actually potentially give the wrong results here. But here, these are the details you can do. You can also open this project within your Visual Studio Web. When you do so, you must give the permission, virtual machine GPU or CPU. You need to select. I would always go with the GPU with a different size, but remember your subscription is attached to it. So anything you do, like standard or anything, make sure to see this cost. So you're going to get this cost. And if you look at the small tiny bit in the last line, it says it's going to cost me $5,341 US. So be very, very careful. So don't just get excited and spin any services up. You need to be very careful. Or you need to be upfront, understand how this works, and then you can actually support this. Yeah. So let me stop this. Okay, let's move on there. Okay, so you have different tools are available here. So prompt flow tool, you can also actually use at the playground area. In playground area, you can actually describe. Sorry, it's just going slow now. Okay. So in a playground area, once you have your subscription gets deployment done, you got the permissions and everything. You have a playground area where you can actually test those ChatGPT, and whenever you actually fine tuning, you can come back to it and test here without even implementing in your services. So you don't have to keep going back to your applications and test it. You can test it here, everything there. Okay, so you have other component data, indexes, deployments, and content filtering. So you can actually see what custom data you have supplied, how many deployment you have done. Every time you do the deployment, it asks you whether it's a real-time endpoint or pay-as-you-go. If you select a pay-as-you-go, then it will just select which deployment of the model you want to deploy. You select. I'm not going to deploy right now. Okay, it's disabled anyway. So yeah, you can actually go through that. So what we will do, we will organize another dedicated session just to go deep dive into AI Studio. I will try and bring some of the pre-agreed permissions from the Microsoft and see whether we can actually produce that demo for you. Yeah. Okay, just conscious about time. So I need to speed these things up because I got a few things to show you. This is very important. If you remember, I did mention about your subscription ID is associated with that. You created the project. Now you got the primary key. I'm not going to make it visible because it can be used. And you can look at show endpoint, and the endpoint service is here. So while you use this service, you can use the primary key and then call these services back. Yeah. So that's how it happens. Okay, so that's AI Studio. And last bit, I can show you the manage. So you can actually create this project. And once you are done with this project, or if you don't want it, you can go and delete this project. You can also monitor your quota. It's very important. Keep monitoring all these details. So for Azure ML, have you utilized any quota? So I'm using this 4 core used. So these are the elements you need to keep an eye on it because that incurs cost. So be careful. Yeah, there are some classic modeling, the reporting available and different. I haven't this one I spent up just in the morning, so I haven't got enough data to show you here. The other thing I would always say, go into cost analysis in your Azure and look at it. What's your metering going on? Always remember to do that. It's very important. Okay, forms we have showed, pricing calculator. So I want to show you these two things first, and then we can go into the security and compliance element. So pricing calculator, if you are not aware of the pricing calculator, make sure you go to the pricing calculator, Azure pricing calculator. I will share this link after the session, so you can always go into that. You can search for OpenAI. So this is the service you need to select, OpenAI service. If you go with a different other model, you need to provide that service, is the Vision service or something. So you can type Azure AI service, and that has a Vision service in it. Once you have added this, what you do, you type of, like, select the language model you want to go for. So here, these are the language model, speech model or language model. This is like OpenAI services, and the different model I'd like to go for, like, say ChatGPT 4 Turbo, and there's no pricing available. So it's maybe not deployed in this region. So say, let's go with the 3.5. So 3.5, it counts in 1,000 tokens. Yeah. And as I said, like, this one, consider, like, how the token calculation needs to happen. I have a OpenAI calculator here. So if I quickly jump back to OpenAI calculator, this is a tokenizer calculator. If I have a chat here, yeah, so I got this available straight away. So in OpenAI, I can type, say, hello, today we are attending OpenAI session. Now you can see I have already used 9 tokens for this particular one sentence, and there are 44 characters, and how it's been calculated, it's highlighted. So if I'm supplying this type of long sentences as a prompt in, like, say 1,000 employee supplies 100 each day, so 100,000 prompts easily going per day. So what I would do, I would go into the Azure calculator. I know 100,000 per day. This model calculates monthly price. So remember. So I need, say, simply 31. So probably I'll just put down, like, just a random figure, and I need that probably response is a similar way. This service is going to cost me $201.50. I can always change my currency at the bottom here somewhere. Yeah, okay. So I can change my currency and look at my GBP cost. So this is £158.87. So this is how I can calculate on a different region. Other region, remember, region might differ the cost, maybe smaller, but always select your right region, model, model type, and model, and then you put down those prompts. So I hope this helps. And in terms of the Azure calculator, maybe I can just give this link. Okay, so try out this link. It's free. It's not going to charge you, but at least you can calculate what's going on in this one. Okay, couple of things here. We actually learned about all these details. Like, if you want to explore more about Azure AI Studio, here is a link. That's where you can explore all the documentation. And also, if you like to deep dive into this Azure Open AI services documentation, then here it is. So these are the documentation, can go a little bit deep dive. If you have any question about, like, understanding or something you like more explanation about, please do let us know. Okay, now let me switch back to my slides. Okay, so here we have the different type of task and the prompt. So these are some of the example prompts. Say classifying content. So it has a, tweet. I enjoyed the training course and the sentiment is positive. So this is a sentiment model. Generating a new content, write a poem about database, and then it just writes it. So these are some of the prompts you can try yourself in either subscribing to ChatGPT, or you can get your OpenAI service approved and you can start working on that as well. Okay. As I showed you, this is one of the playground. Once your services are enabled, you can actually response temperature. You can set all the frequency parameter. you can start giving the prompt and see like, what the result comes out. Okay. There are a lot to read here. So it comes to the data privacy and the security. Very important, because the first thing will come to your employers or customers' mind. Okay, I love OpenAI services, but how I'm secure? Is it going to expose my data? I'm not sure if you have read in news about a year back, Samsung developers accidentally exposed their internal code data onto ChatGPT. If you remember that, so you need to be careful, like how you expose your data, how you actually fine tuning it. Microsoft is actually putting a lot of restrictions, a lot of content filtering policies in place, which you can enable according to your need, and you can restrict. So this is more about reading, like what are not available, because Microsoft is actually protecting you, and what data does the OpenAI service process. So prompts and generated content. So these are submitted by the user, or content generated by the service, or via the completions, chat completions, image and embedding operations. So that is used by OpenAI service. Augmented data include with prompts, and training and validation data. So you need to be mindful of, so you don't expose your sensitive data there. Okay, this is the architecture comparing about the security. So inference and training. So when you're actually training it, you need to fine-tuning data available in the below sets. Inference, where you need to have the content filtering available all the time. It can have this exposure, which you need to be mindful of, and you need to actually go to you need to make sure that your customers may apply to modify and abuse monitoring. So you need to be mindful of it, and that is can be protected by the policy. So you need to think about every possible ways to protect your data. This is about on your data. If you are now connected with your data, so customers cognitive search index, you are now exposed to your OpenAI services here. And that's where, again, you need to be mindful of securing your content. There's a dedicated sessions we can organize about the security. If you are interested, give us your feedback, and we will organize a purely security, but you have to have that security mindset. It can go a little bit heavy in terms of the terminologies. The policies needs to be understood. And if you are thinking to go for Azure AI 102 exam, OpenAI exam, Azure AI services exam, you will be learning this. So if you like to appear for that exam, let me know. We will share those links where you can do self-learning. Don't forget to subscribe to Learn Room. So your question is answered, is if you like to learn more, this is where our room is, AI and Enterprise Business Application. And it's simple Microsoft Teams based connections. Once you subscribe to it, you will get the invitation, and then you can chat like normally we do in Teams. Okay, so there's a link if you want to take a screenshot. Okay, and there's a surprise. So if you are logged in with your Microsoft Learn profile, scan this QR code. So for this all 4 sessions, once you have attended, you redeem this code. Either you can just scan this QR code and go and redeem this. Make sure you log in with your Microsoft Learn profile, or you can enter this code and you will get a badge from Microsoft. Okay, I'll leave this slide on. Let's pick up any question if you have. So Andrea asked, do you have to be organization to register on OpenAI, or can you be individual? Oh, good question. For the form submission, they typically ask being an organization. But open, for individual, I can certainly take that question forward to Microsoft and confirm this for you. But it's a very good question, because in the OpenAI subscription, when you try to deploy the service, it also prompts for enable free services. So I like to say, yes, as an individual you can do, but if you've seen the form specifically asks for organization detail. So it's a bit conflicting information there. So I'd like to bring that details back to you. If you subscribe to Microsoft Learning Room, please raise this question there. And so we know that, like, we're not missing anything for you, and we will get back to you. Are there pre-built version of RAG process from embedding to query in Azure Studio? There is one. Yes, I did seen this, RAG process one. Again, if you have scanned the QR code, let me switch back to OpenAI Studio. Okay, sorry, I don't have that, so it doesn't look like it, but I need to probably check with the different. Oh, okay, you like the OpenAI room ID. So here, this is the link. Let me just post it back again. Okay, one last thing here. Currently, AI skill challenge going on from Microsoft. And in this one, if you haven't registered, do it now, because you then have enough time. Select Azure OpenAI, click on register now. Make sure you use Microsoft Learn login. Once you have registered, it will give you a list of courses. Do you have a list here? I can show you, but it does give you in-depth knowledge. And I would say, please register on that one. No, I don't have it right now, but I'll send it. But once you register here, you get a free voucher for AZ102. Once you successfully complete, there are a very big list of handful of self-learning. So you need to give enough time. I think it has a maximum 30 days, but it started on, I believe it's on 18th of this month. So you have now a few days already gone. So register this if you haven't already. And let me share this Azure AI challenge link as well. So you can register for that one and you can get the benefit out of it. Can you give a brief explanation of Azure AI Studio versus Copilot Studio versus Semantic Kernel? When is the best time to use which service? Okay, so Azure, I'll give you a quick explanation about the Azure AI Studio. I'll leave the Copilot Studio because you got the very good session coming up, so you need to self-understand. So the Azure AI Studio, typically you have on a different scenarios, which you need to select the type of services. So either you go with the OpenAI Studio. These are the type of studio available. What would I use for? If I select the model, I'm selecting example, this is the model. When I select this model, it just makes a lot easier for me to deploy. I don't have to go back to my Azure from service, and I can just click a deploy service, a deploy button, and I can start creating a project. What it does, it actually creating the project in your Azure subscription, the subscription you have tied up with. So you don't have to do anything. It just spins up everything, which I've just showed you one project here. So I would definitely use Azure AI Studio to deploy the services, else it's so difficult to deploy so many other different type of services there. So you got so this is the one of the project I have spinned up. And here you can see all your list of projects, and here you can actually spin up either you want to run on the playground, you want to run the evolution, and all this thing. So these are the easy interfaces have been given. If you directly deploy in Azure, you don't have those interfaces. By saying this, let me also show you something here, what that look like in terms of the Azure AI. So if I search for Azure, just OpenAI we will search for. So when I click on OpenAI, I can deploy the services from here as well. But when I deploy the services, it's going to deploy my model and other relevant services, but I need to make sure that I have deployed all the project. I have created Key Vault, I have created other data storage, storage account. I've created all this, about 6 or 7 different type of services I need to install for OpenAI. So I need to make sure I deploy those. Yeah. So when I actually click on a create OpenAI, it won't let me go. But here you can only do like the pricing tier, network setting, tags, and then create it. But it doesn't really help you with other support. So if I want to make it like make the deployment a lot easier, I would use this. And you can see that I have the other tools available, I have other components available, and other any project settings I can perform here. So I don't have to really log in into the subscription, because you technically logged into your subscription by logging in there. Yeah. Great. I can see Ambesh is coming up, so I'm just about time. And I'd like to say thank you very much for joining today's session. I really appreciate if you have any questions or any feedback, if you give us so we can improve the next session. We'll try and cover up even more and more details as much as possible to help you. Yeah, you'd like to have the recording to review. So it's live on YouTube, which link I have shared already, so you can go back to that. Once again, thank you very much for your time today. I know it's your Saturday and you're spending your personal time, so thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Narayan. Such a fantastic session. A lot of things to take away from there. So thanks a lot for that. And I think, Raj, should I start with mine?
Yes, please. Yeah, I hope my session hasn't been too heavy because I know they're a basic user, but I know for everyone, Ambesh and Arpit is going to look after you with even easy understanding. Azure can go really complex, but here we go, Ambesh. All the floor is all yours. Please go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm very pleased to be holding the Copilot Studio OS session today, and thank you for joining. And it's wonderful to see such enthusiasm, for the AI and its potential to transform lives. Kudos to the Power community, Raj, Narayan, and every speaker here for creating this platform where knowledge can be shared with the wider audience. Let's dive into the exciting world of the AI together. I would like to briefly introduce myself here, and then I will go for the agenda for this session. So my name is Ambesh Singh. Currently, I'm working with Avnar Deutschland as a Dynamic 365 and Power Platform Architect. And prior to that, I worked with the KPMG Deutschland, Pearson VUE, and the EA Sports. And mostly in my career, I worked with the Microsoft in the different product groups, global consulting, and the deliveries. I'm also the mentor and ambassador of 365 Saturdays, and now it's called or known as in Power Community. And love to speak and share my learnings on Azure, Power Platform, and Dynamic 365 related topics. So let's dive into the agenda for today's Copilot Studio overview session. We will explore what Copilot Studio is and its significance in the world of the AI. I will highlight the powerful features and functionality that Copilot Studio brings to the table. Get ready for some exciting demonstrations, and we will showcase how Copilot Studio can assist with the daily business need. We will see the practical, steps to kick off your journey with the Copilot Studio and understanding the licensing model, somehow not very deep, and requirement for using the Copilot Studios. And then you have a chance to ask the questions, clarify doubts, and engage in the discussion later on. And feel free to participate actively. If you have any questions, just ask them. And let's make this session more informative and enjoyable. So before we proceed with the capabilities, let's hold a minute to understand what is a Copilot Studio. So Copilot Studio is basically a conversational application that uses the traditional bot building tool in the conjunctions with the generative AI technologies to bring enhanced experience to the users or even the supplier, customer or the supplier. So very often you will hear a term generative AI, like a lot of times you heard it in the previous session as well, or the previous session as well, when Raj was explaining. So the generative AI is a type of the AI that can create a new content such as a text, image, music, or code, or by using the generative models. So one of the examples of the generative AI is a ChatGPT. So a chatbot that can have a human-like conversation based on the natural language prompts. And basically, the conversational AI will play a big role in our daily business. So a lot of the work activities will be conversationally enabled. So apart from that, probably every one of us has been speaking to AI on the phone when connecting customer services, or maybe we were doing the chat with them in maybe if you're trying to book your favorite restaurants, if you're trying to raise a support ticket for maybe Apple Store or on a lot of places even. And since the conversational AI is being used in contact center for many years, it will reduce, the labor cost by 80 billion until the 2026. And the conversational AI will play a big role when it comes to the sales and the customer experience. There's a lot of opportunities out there. It can be internal, so enriching the employee experience and making more productive. It can be external and reinvent how you do the business with your customers. You can also reshape your business process or even business models, and you can also innovate and better differentiate your service and stay ahead of your competitions, always a step ahead with them. So AI can take off the repetitive task off the shoulders of your employees, so they can focus on what truly matters for them. Employee will be more focused, and they can be more satisfied at the workplace. AI can help you enhance customer experience in a wide variety of the ways. So imagine having a virtual customer service agent that actually works, providing help and delight to your customers. We will see in short of time with one of the demo and the problem statement as well. With the LLM, so LLM is a large language model. So with the LLMs processing your contact center transcriptions, organizations can also analyze the customer sentiments and discover the hidden customer insight, like if they're happy, if they're not happy, if they're worried about this, all kind of the sentiments, you can bring it on the table. And from the invoice processing to claim handling, from fraud detections to the quality management, organization across the industry are automating and optimizing their existing business processes to enhance the operational efficiency, and then they can reduce the cost as well. We will also start to see the organizations are reinventing now to their business model and value propositions, launching entirely new product and the service line of the business there. Let's quickly see a video. Just give me a hook, like if you can able to hear the noise as well, or if not, then I have to maybe share it again.
Yes, we can.
Okay, that's great. Such a fantastic video. Like it just conclude whatever I'm going to speak in the next maybe 40-45 minutes, so in maybe 3 or 4 minutes of video. But yeah, maybe now we will see with the Copilot Studio. So with the Copilot Studio, you have a variety of the conversational tools at your fingertips. So you can build the manual topics where you can control the flow of turn-by-turn dialogues. You can build and call the actions and create the plugins. So plugin is a very important part here, and you can use the 1400s plus pre-built Power Platform connectors there. You can also build and use the custom GPTs, as you saw in the OpenAI announcements, I think a couple of weeks back. And then you can even create the custom prompts to the GPTs as well. So you can basically then take these pieces and create your own custom Microsoft Copilot to deploy to your own websites. And you can start it from the scratch for sure. Or you can use the Copilot to build the Copilot. We will probably see the demo as well there. Also, you can choose the customized Microsoft first-party Copilots, like an example, Microsoft or M365 Copilot with your own enterprise scenarios and the capabilities. For example, you are allowing your employees interacting with the M365 Copilots in the teams to ask HR questions. So that is a very common scenarios nowadays. Also, Copilot Studio is built on the top of the Copilot. basically the complete Power Platform AI builders and other Power Platform technologies, and the it's also bring together and integrate the various conversational stacks from across the Microsoft, like an example from Azure OpenAI Studio, Azure Cognitive Services, Azure Bot Services, and much more. Let's take a closer look at this. So basically, like when we are looking at the generative AI inside of the Copilot Studio, you can use the generative answers that generate the multi-turn answers based on your content in the real time. Another part is like you can get a support content on the web, SharePoint, Azure, your OneDrive, and even as an OpenAI on your data, and even the direct file uploaded, which or even you can even I told you like custom calls to the backend, like because you have a lot of connectors available there. So generative AI, generative actions also allow you to replace the traditional natural language based approach for the topic triggering, like using we used to if you remember in the Power Virtual Agent we used to write all of the triggers, so you can totally remove out like using the trigger phases you define for the each topics. Probably you don't need it because now you can come up with the dynamic chaining if you enable the option there from the setting. When we will go through the Copilot Studio, Design Studio, I will probably show you that as well. And the last one, like instead your Copilot use the GPT to select one or more topics or the plugin actions to respond to a user query. So then the generative buildings come in the picture, and the Copilot assistant help build, design, and modify the Copilot through the natural language itself. So you can build it the Copilot within the Copilot itself. Let's see live demo and the use case. And but before we go, I would like to quickly talk about few basic stuff here, like regarding the Copilot Studio. What is inside the Copilot Studio? So we get a Copilot building a studio, a brand new studio, which was probably wrapped around the Power Virtual Agent Studio earlier, but there's a lot of things has been changed since then. And in the workspace, you will find the plugins, you will find the generative AIs, you will find how to publish your bots to the different channels, and also importantly, you will get the analytical and the insight on your first step. You can automate your complete bots by using the 1400 plus pre-built connectors, and then you have an admin studio, so you can control all of the administrative job, monitoring, security roles, and the rest of the things around those areas. Let's just quickly talk about this diagram. So this shows how generated response are plugged into the dialog manner. So in the Copilot Studio, to ensure that you remain in a control of the user experience while allowing for the authored experience, that are the key function of your Copilot. Scripted responses that are the key of the managing the answers you want to scripted, like such as a marketing control responses or HR responses, something like that. Or you can also work in the conjunction with the generative response, allowing the enterprise to remain in the full control of your experience. Also, this allow for end-to-end enterprise conversational platform to build the effective and manage experience that delight the customers while reducing the overhead and the cost of the maintainability, fully scripted experience for the boss. Example, like there are a few author topics, so you can simply say, how can I create a case? This is an author topic, and then bot will give you the answer, and this answer can be authored. Like, the person can ask this question, and you already provide the response into the via the topics. Then there is probably the second example, like FAQ or the scripted responses, how to enroll for the extended warranty. So this probably you don't want to go and write it in more conservative, conventional way, but then the bot can still read it from this website, from your uploaded documents, from the public website or the SharePoint. So it will read all of the data based on, or basically the FAQs, and it can be in the combination with the scripted responses also. And then you can show the end users like how probably they can enroll for the extended warranties. Then we have something as a generated response. So if the first two don't work, then the third we will go for the third, or basically the bot engine go for the third approach. And there an example, like what type of the recommendation to maintain my device. Like this is not a very common question, so probably it's not been triggered, not as in FAQs, but then it will fetch the information from all of the public, public websites, the SharePoint and everything, and it try to fetch the information there, and then try to give you an answer in a more generated responsive way. At the last, if nothing works, then we have an option that can I talk to an agent as an escalation, and then the whole session will be transferred to the to the customer service agent in that particular case, which is they're out of box, so you can integrate with a lot of omni channels and the customer service engagement hub. So this is being already there. Now, bot creation process overview. So creating a bot is a really easy step-by-step process. So first you need to sign up to the Copilot Studio and create a new chatbot. Then creating the new topics, and you can define the trigger phrases for that one to build a proper conversational trees. And immediately you were able to test it using the test bots, because Copilot also provide you the demo website that can be shared with the other users, like or the end users, the business users, before really putting into or integrating with some different products. Once you have you are happy, or your business is happy with what you have already built, you can publish it to the bot to the different channels. So it could be Teams, it could be custom website, it could be Slack, it could be Facebook, or mobile devices, could be anything. And then you can make it readily available for the Copilot Studio. And then each chatbot also has a performance analytics to enable the feedback loop, so you can continuously look into that one. You can easily enhance your chatbot to optimize the customer experience, and you have to keep revise your bot to follow the same process. There is no, I would call, the end of the development, because it's more on the base of the generative and the learnings. The more bot you are feeding to the bot will be more responsive, and bot will come up with the more analytical data, which could be positive, could be negative. If it is positive, it's good. If it is negative, you have to proactively go there and then fix these things. I talked about the customer or the demo website basically in the Copilot Studio. So if you want to validate with your colleagues or the customer before going for the enterprise integration and the deliverables, this is the best place to start with that one. And then we have an analytical tab here, so we can easily see what's working and what to improve. So we have an analyze bot customer conversation to the better understanding how the specific topics are performing, what impact of your CSAT, and identify where is the room of the improvement. It also helps to quickly figure out what to build next, because it's easily see which conversation are going to the human agent and determine which topics to teach your bot next. Because suppose there is a scenario, somebody would like to have a feedback for their case, or somebody would like to have an order for order status, and bot is not able to handle this with more conservative approach, or even with the generative approach, because generative approach can fetch the data, but you don't allow that anybody is going in the system and fetching all the responses, like order status or something. Maybe it could be a security breach. Then you hold it, but then this kind of things are always going for the agents, and there you can hold it, and then you can plan it accordingly. Okay, how we can put there a layer of maybe the more triggered topics, and then we can hold this all the information there. Maybe we could ask for the validation from the customer or the end user and provide the order status to them. So this could be easily tackled. Now let's quickly talk about one of the use cases which I would like to show probably in the demo. So Christina Adams, she's a customer. She bought a new Surface device from the online store of Microsoft, and after a few days, the device was not powering up. And she visited to the social platform, or probably the customer self-service portal, and she used the AI-driven bot to troubleshoot the problem. So the moment she engaged with the system, that Microsoft in this particular case have all of the information about Christina, the device she is talking about, and the complete 360-degree view of that one. That maintain all the conversation on the digital channels, and they the system provides the responses based on the conventional and the generative AI. Then Christina decided to raise a ticket because she was somehow got lost, and she wanted that she could track the whole process of resolution of her issue. So she followed up with the progress, and then she also requested for a callback because she probably found the ticket has not been resolved the time frame which she is expecting. And then she decided to engage the live agent. And then Alan from the customer service agent department, or customer service department, one of the agent, he answered the Christina query. So Alan shares like all the information seamlessly and resolve his or her concerns over the conversation, and he does he closes the ticket after ending up the conversation with the Christina and redirect Christina for the feedback. And based on the feedback, like he just put to the knowledge articles and then publish it to the while closing the ticket. And those knowledge articles can be reused as a source of information for the next conversation in the Copilot Studio. So let's hold a minute here and then or to the slide, and I would then quickly show you how to start with that. So the first thing is, if you can see my web browser, then I have opened the Power App Maker Studio. And on the Power App Maker Studio, please don't ask me why and when it is going to change. So you can still see the Power Virtual Agent here. Technically, if you click it here, the new interface will open, and the new interface is basically the same, web.powerva.microsoft.com. So it is still having the old flavor, but an example, when you are here, then on the header bar, you can still see the title of this Microsoft Copilot Studio. So they rebrand it, but still at a lot of places you will having the old flavor of the Power Virtual Agent. And if I'm not wrong, then probably in some PL 200 exam or in few exams you can, or maybe PL 100 exams, you can still see the questions related with the Power Virtual Agent. So I would recommend to go and look at the complete revision history for that one before appearing to the exam. This is really important because as per the official announcement from the Microsoft, PVA is no longer exist. So in the Power Platform family, you have just basically the Power Apps, the Power Automate, the Power BI, and the Power Pages. So PVA, which used to be the part of that one, has been omitted out. And then there's a new family group called the Copilot, and Copilot Studio is a part of that one. So that is the one thing. The second thing is if you're already here. So on the first screen, like if you click on the Copilot, you can see the whole list of the Copilot, which is available to your org. And then after that, if you just open any of the bot here, so I'm working on the bot 365, and let me just quickly show or guide through this one. So you will see one of the test bot pop-up. You can close it also, or you can toggle it by any time clicking on the test your Copilot from the left bottom corner. You have on the left navigation, you have all of the menus available there. And on the top header, you will see the app launcher. And after app launcher, you see the product name, then your bot name. On the right side, you see the environment selector. So you can see what environment you have to go and work on. This is important. So if you want to work with a particular environment, then choose it before making any of the changes there, or spinning up the new bot. Then you have a gear icon for all of the settings. You have an help icon, and then you have your own profile icon where you can go and update the language, some preferences related with your profile. You have some notification pop-ups, so you can ignore it totally. You can share at any point of time within your organization. So this will only work within your organizations which have valid, email addresses or the account in your Entra ID. Now you have a bot name. You can edit the Copilot details. So it will push you to the settings screen. We will go there, but have a look for the canvas here. And in the canvas, you can see some, like in this Copilot, how many topics you have, how many actions do you have. If you can add the building blocks here, then the status, like it published 3 hours ago. If you want to go to the publisher screen, you can go there. And then you have some of the learning document. This whole interface is looks very much similar to the PVA, which was the earlier product, and even with any of the Power Platform products. So if you are working on the example, the Power Apps, or if you're working on the Power Pages, or probably if you're working on the Power Automate, you will have this kind of the look and feel everywhere, where you on the top bar, you have an headers, on the left navigations, you have some menus, and then you have a canvas area on the right and the center area. So this is the thing. And then you have a topic after that. So topic is basically kind of the conservative conversation where you deal in a one-on-one conversation with a customer. So you have some of the system defined topic, and then you have some of the custom topics. So system defined topics, like an example, the sign-in could be the one thing. When the conversation is start, then you have to give some content inside that one. So this, I will just quickly open one of them, and then you see like you have a trigger, and then you have some some actions inside. It could be a message, and then action could be anything like it could be ask a question. You can use the adaptive cards, you can add the conditions, you can use the variables, topics, you can call them actions, and then you have an advanced, like you can use the generative answers, HTTP request, you can create as an activity or event, and you can log the custom this whole conversation or basically insights to the telemetry events. So this is quite much possible. If you want to make a change, you can simply go and make the changes here, and that's all. Then you have to save it and publish it. If you don't publish it, it won't be available outside of that. But if you still save it and you want to test it locally, there is not a problem. Then you have some of the tools inside there. So you can zoom in, zoom out. You can now make it center. So right now this is not much complex, but I have worked with some of the topic conversations or some of the topics which was really complex in the nature. So you can't just find where you are and something like that. So you can make it reset, and if you zoom in, zoom out, or did something there, then you will still become to the common or the central of the screen. Then you can also have a mini map. Right now it's nothing shown, but again, if you have a long topics, a lot of action inside, then you can use the mini map as well. You can point out, or then you can use the hand tool, because what happens sometimes it's really hard to make a navigation here. So if you use the hand tool, it will be really easy to navigate in this particular canvas. In the action, I would leave it. I won't save it. In the action, you can add the action here. Like any of the, you can call a flow and something like that. So this is the one option which is right now in the preview, so I don't go really deep into that one. Then you have an entity. So entities are kind of the real world object. Like an example, you have an age, you have an color. So if you just write, I want the red color car, and you use the entity color, then it will pick the red from there, and it omit the whole whole statement or whole sentence there. So that is a kind of the beauty of the entities. You can write your own JSON expressions there and so on, and you can build your own custom entities as well there. Then we have an analytical tag or the tab. It will take some time to load it because it's based on the Power BI reports. I would probably quickly show you one of the report here. So it's not that complex. This is just a test bot, so you won't see much information there or the fruitful information there. But an example, you can see the escalation rate, resolution rate, how many total sessions were there, what are the abundant rates, what is the CSAT rate, and so on. So you will get the complete 360-degree view of your bot analytical or analytics. You have a customer satisfaction, how many sessions are there, billing information, and if you want to boost your conversation. So all of the things, you will get it already here. Then you can publish your bot at any point of time. So it's just like you have something local. If you want to make it available for your end customers or the users, then you have to publish it. Apart from that, you can configure the different channels, and these two cards, basically one will again redirect you to the analytical section and second one to the channel. We will look into that one, so it's not a problem. Then we can write the conversational plugins. So you can add a conversational plugin and then you can start writing there. I won't do this right now. And then you have an AI-based plugin as well there. So this is also, you can utilize this by creating the new AI-based plugins there. In the settings, you have a Copilot details. So if you want to make a change the bot name, you can do this. If you want to upload the icon, this should be in the PNG format with a 33 GB in the size, and then you can upload it. Remember, after uploading, it might take some time to reflect to the external world. On the bot, probably you can see this, but if you're using on the custom site or somewhere, then it might give you an issue for some time. Then you can actually use the application insight. You can give the Azure application insight connection string there, and you can push all of the logs there. Then you have some metadata information like environment ID, tenant ID, Copilot app ID, and the schema name, which is required when you are going for the integration scenarios. You have AI integration tools, so cognitive service languages, AI models for the Azure OpenAI, and the Copilot SDK. And remember, like here, nowhere you see create, because these all are in the preview features, and Microsoft will come up and fill the spaces there. We have a generative AI. So I just given website for the Microsoft.com, and this is one of the public website. You can go up to 4 public website plus the SharePoint internal sites into there, and then you can upload the documents, and this is up to 3 MB per file. So you can upload the documents and it will go and store in the Dataverse itself. Then you can also decide how your Copilot content moderation is. High is basically you will get a fewer response, but it is more precise. And the low is just reverse for that one. So you have an option high, medium, and low here. Enterprise chat tools and burst coverage node. Again, you will be redirected to the other nodes. Then you have some properties here. Example, the dynamic chaining, which I talked about in the slide. It is disabled. If I enable it, the dynamic chaining will be applied, and then I don't need to really define the trigger nodes for that. Boost conversational coverage with the generative answers. Yes, I want. You can enable it, disable at any point of time. Also, you can provide any kind of the instruction there in a simple text box. You have around 13 to 14 channels available right now, which is out of box. You can use it. Apart from that, if you want to use it in your website, you will get a script, and you just need to put it there in your website. So this is the thing, and I was talking about the demo website. So if you click on the demo website, you will see something like that, and then you can start your conversation from their example. So this is quite okay to use it or to test it before you are pushing to the for some integration and so on. You can test it locally, and then you have a lot of these channels which you can go and enable by default. So suppose if I just go and enable from the Microsoft team, I already did this for this particular bot, but then you have an option here, simply like click next, and then you will have this. When you open the bot, you will see somehow like this, and there again you can start writing messages and so on this particular bot. So this is quite okay. So this is just a team integration, and then you started, having the responses back from the same bot. So this is related with that. And then on the channels, let me just show you quickly one more thing here. Like an example team, you have more command there, or more options there to connect it. So if you want to edit in detail and you want that, okay, you want to change the colors or the icon for that, you can still do it for the teams. And then you can provide a short description, long description, and then you have more options there, like who is the developers and information about that, your partner IDs. Then you can go with the client IDs, resource URI, app IDs, and then you can also manage the bot details, which will redirect you again to the to the bot Copilot details settings page. So we were into the channels and the customer engagement hub. You have all the customer engagement right now available, so you can easily integrate. For the omni-channel, you can do it from here itself because it's a part of your D365 product. If you are going, for example, the Salesforce or the ServiceNow, then you will get the bot ID and the app ID, and you have to use this while you are making an integration, and the complete integration information has been already provided here in the instruction. So you just need to follow this and simply go and enable or integrate with your product. In the security, you have 4 options there. So the first option is the sharing, authentication, web channel security, and allow list. Allow list will be enabled when you have a skills enabled. Right now, I don't have a skill enabled, but I will tell you. Web channel security, like you can review the enhanced security options. Authentication and sharing, like you can share within the organization, or authentication, like you have no authentication only for your teams and the power ups, or then you can do the manual authentication, and you can select Azure Active Directory, Azure Active Directory V2, and Gen OAuth2, like out of anything from there. You can provide your client ID, client secret if you make an app registration. And then on the top of that, like you can also exchange URL, which is required for the SSO. You have tenant ID, and then you can decide the scopes there. Then we have an skills here. So on the skill menu, like this is basically the bot in the another bot. So your bot can serve as an input for the other bots, and you just need to add those things here. Language understanding here is basically like this all the NL here. So you can manage the connection in the Power App. The moment you will click it here, the Power App connector window will open in make.powerapps.com, and then you can manage the connections there for now. In the natural language understanding, you won't get anything right now. You will just see a documentation from the Microsoft. Also, it provides the capability to build the bot to the multiple languages, because if I do remember, in the PVA we did not have this option. You have to create the bot separately for the 2 different versions, or you need to handle it directly within the bot itself. Here you have an option. You can enable any of the language which is available there. So suppose if I need to enable the German, I won't do this because I probably need to use this environment to the other, and I don't want to slow that. The moment you enable it, you will get a metadata file, and then you can upload the translations based on that one if you're not satisfied with the out-of-box translation. So you can upload in the metadata itself. Then what else? I think this is more or less is being covered. And then I will just quickly go for the demo part. So for the demo part, you can simply go to the bot, and in the bot, simply like you can write anything here. Like you can just greet them, and bot will start responding that. So back to our demo, or the problem statement. So Christina probably is talking with the bot, and then she asked for the bot. She greeted, bot responded, and bot probably want the name, and then she mentioned, okay, sure, my name is Maria Campbell, and please remember she wrote the whole statement, but now the moment she entered, bot is smart enough to pick the name itself, and this is because of the entity there, which I mentioned earlier. Okay, then on the next thing, she is probably looking for some kind of the help there, so she simply asked, okay, what is probably one of the document or the agreement she was looking for, and she wrote, and then I got in document which was being uploaded. So the first integration is, as I mentioned, like you can see the whole thing which has been uploaded there, and this file has been uploaded directly as in document to your via this bot to the Dataverse, and it is available there. If you're satisfied, so this kind of the feedback you will only see for the internal users. For external users, they won't see this on the first place. So you can provide the feedback if you're satisfied with that. She have gone through the document, but there was not much information available there. Then she asked, okay, what is the warranty policy for her Surface, which she bought it? And here I did not wrote this in any FAQs, no conservative conversation, and the bot got a response directly from one of the website. From the Microsoft itself. So it goes to the Microsoft site, and it fetched this information based on what she was looking for. So Microsoft Surface and warranty protection plan. And she have gone through all of these details, but there was a lot of details, and she got some kind of lost in between, reading all of this information. And then she said, okay, she definitely needs support, and she want to create a support ticket. And then bot started asking further details. Okay, could you please provide me your email address or the registered email address? She provided the email address there. Then bot asked, okay, could you just provide me the short summary of your problem, what you are facing with? And then she mentioned, okay, I have a problem with my device, which is booting up in every 5 minutes. Then bot asked, okay, what preferred method do you want to contact back? And she said, okay, I would like to be contact back via email. You can do the SMS integration, email, as well as the other one. And here you see this, you don't have to print it. I printed it for the testing purpose, but then here you see like it has an information that okay, what has been captured, and here the ticket has been already created. So the ticket number is this. I will just copy this for me for the further further conversation process things. And then let me just quickly copy this so I can reuse this because I haven't stored this anywhere. And then the ticket has been created, and she waited for maybe around a couple of hours. There is no feedback, nothing. And then she asked, okay, what is she asked the bot again, like, what is an update of my ticket? And then the bot asked, okay, could you please provide me the ticket number? And then she said, okay, I could provide you the ticket number. I could store this in a global variable also, but there could be a situation where the user or end user, the customer or the person would like to ask the status for the different ticket. So if I would store in the global variable, it would be really hard to just clean up and then provide the new one. So that's why I put the name in a global variable to be in a particular session, but ticket, I want that, okay, she has to provide the ticket for which she want to get an update. And then I provided a ticket number, and then there is an update for that one. Okay, your ticket is in this, but is this true? Let me just check it, even if the case has been created. So I just quickly go to my dynamic CRM, which I have made as an integration. And I said, this is via the plugin. And I see a ticket here. So the ticket has been created, I think, a couple of minutes back from now. And let me open that. And this is all the information. Like I have a problem to boot up my device. And this is the whole information there. But now what she was probably, she's at some point of time, again, she's not satisfied, and she decided, okay, I definitely need a call back from the executive, because she's getting some kind of frustrated. She's not getting any update. The ticket is still in progress status, and then she requested for the callback. And then the bot asked, okay, when do you need a callback? And then she mentioned that, okay, I probably need a callback next Monday. And remember here, I just mentioned the next Monday, and bot is smart enough to pick the specific date, and the date of the next Monday is the 25th, and bot picked the specific date. Let me see if bot capture this information, so I have to really refresh it and then just quickly see in the notes area. And then I have one task created for the service agent, and it mentioned here, customer requested a phone call against this by this date. So this is the way, like, how I'm leveraging the whole thing here. And then after that, let me just quickly go back to okay, I would probably start it one more topic. So let me just quickly show you one bot which I could create it from the scratch in front of you. So I could create here, for example, the Power Community bot. I want an English language. I can just quickly get a Power Community website here and feed it as a data source there. So I want to do this so bot can crawl this website, and then I will again come and ask the questions there. Here you can decide, okay, what what solution you want to put it. So I just decided the solution. You can choose any of the the icon, or you can upload your own icon. I probably use this one for now. And then if you want to enable the voice capabilities, you can do this. Otherwise, you can just create it. It takes a couple of seconds to minute, not definitely a lot. This is a trial environment. So please remember, this is a trial environment, my personal trial. So it might take a couple of minutes, but I don't want to hold myself here. I would just quickly move to the slide. And let's quickly summarize this. So the journey summary is we have the self-service, facilitated customer for all of the things, so they don't have to depend on anyone. We can automate the process with the 1400 plus out-of-box connectors. We can save a lot of resources in terms of less involvement of the employees will cost less resources from the organizations. And also it enhances the customer satisfaction, so they don't have to wait for the long queues for the simple answers or the simple explanation, and all of the things can be generated or provided by the bot, as well as a bot can also route the whole things in terms of escalation, or the moment they sense there's a negative things or negative sentiments are coming, you can direct it to the agents for the escalation. So the key takeaways from that, AI is replacing the conversational bot. So now I don't think so we are going to write the proper topics and the typical conservative conversational trees when we deal with the Copilot stuff or the AI driven bots. It also guided in the proven follow-up mechanism. We have an actionable inside this. Also, we can integrate with and collaborate with the customers and the product system. In our today's demo, I shown you it has been integrated with the Power Platform, as well as with the Dynamic 365 customer service. It also saves a lot of company resources and buy the time for more productive and profitable work. What could have been done? I could have probably integrate if the time allows with some ERP systems, maybe Salesforce, ServiceNow, and some other system. It could be deployed to the customer self-service portal, and I can show you it from there as well. Or I could have integrated with the omni-channel. So in the terms of the escalation, it will directly redirect to the live agents and the multilingual supports, which I have shown you how to do this, but this is something not available in this demo. What I have used the Copilot, Azure, Power Automate, Dynamic 365 engagement, SharePoint Online, and the data was for all of these things. So this is more the overall impact. And then let's quickly talk about the Microsoft Enterprise AI Safeguard stuff. So here, your data is your data. It's not the Microsoft data. It's not your region-specific data. Everything is being securely used in your area. It don't go outside, and your data is not used also to train and enrich the foundation's AI models for that one. Also, your data and AI model are protected at every step, not one or two, but there's a multiple layers, because Microsoft has a Copilot copyright commitments for that one. So there could be a different session on the complete busting security myths, and probably if you just follow to my YouTube channels, I have explained you the how this work internally and what are the myths around the market and what is true and what is not true there in that area. Now, quickly, how to get started. So I have all of this link. I will put it on the chat window also later on. So you can start with the directly with our aka .ms try Copilot Studio. You don't need any account at the first place. You can directly check it there. And if you're satisfied, then you can go with the trial account. And if you're satisfied, then you can go with the paid account there. I would recommend to look for the implementation guide if you're working as a maker, as an architect, or as a product owner. So implementation guide is a great way. It has been updated recently and it's keep updating with the new and latest information inside that. Then you have a lot of community page demos and the blogs. So please follow all the links into that one. Let's quickly talk about the licensing thing here. So I could simply say, without going very deep into that one, for the Microsoft Copilot Studio, you have to put around $200 from your pocket, and then you will get all of the features which is being defined here in the list. And apart from that, you will get the 25K messages. So message is basically the interaction between you and the bot. So if you ask something, it's counted as a one message. If the bot replied, it counted as an message too. With the full, with the full Microsoft Copilot Studio license, you can get all of the features which was listed there. But let me just put a pause here, and I would like to quickly go and show the remaining things there. So just give me a second. And this is a Power Community bot. So this has been spin up. Let me do firstly two things. So this is just an lesson learned or my experience sharing. I would don't leave it. Okay, I have nothing, so I can leave it here. And then I'm going to publish it. While publishing, it may take a couple of seconds to the minutes, not longer. I can quickly check the Teams chat if there is already a question there. Otherwise, I will just quickly follow there. Okay, MCS is not just a rebranding of Power Virtual Agent. PVA features remain part of MCS, but MCS is net new offering of customization. Okay, thanks, Carsten, for this update there. And then I don't think so we have any other thing there. Okay, it has been published there now. So I'm going to ask a simple thing, like I've just put a hello there, and let's see how the bot is responding. Could you tell me something about Power Community? I should be expecting a response here. And Power Community is a global leader in Microsoft training for Power Platform. Something is there, and this has all been generated via the the public website. So you can see the data here is a public website which I have feed while spinning up this instance. You can go and feed more also there. That is not a problem. And if you need from which source it is coming, you can click it and it will redirect to the particular source. So let's try something else. Could you tell me about Lisbon event? Let's see if this has an information about that, or the bot is able to crawl it. I'm sorry. I'm not sure how can I help with. Can you please try rephrasing? I have to wait it because I have pushed this as a data source now. So it might take a couple of minutes to the hours to crawl everything and fetch the information. But let me see if I have something available there on the page. Mm-hmm. I have to be on a different one. No. Let's see if he's that responsive to provide this information, because that was available there. And Power Community provide the various resources and information related to blah, blah, blah. And this is the thing. And then on the top of that, we saw some information, like not only the one source, but it has the multiple sources related with that one. So it already provided this much of information there. So this is how you can build it. there. If you want to see the topic, so here you can build your own topic. You can go to the system topic. Example on the conversational start. If you want to make a change there, okay, I'm this. And just to be aware, something I don't want this all the information. And suppose I just deleted this information here. And you have to save it, and then you have to publish it if you want to use it outside. But I don't want to use outside. I just simply refresh it, and I'm expecting that I should get the latest content. So now you see I have less content. It is being reflected there. Another aspect is maybe just quickly go to the topic. I want to create a topic here for from not from the blank, but maybe from the description. So registration. Create registration. Information. I'm just writing with the typos and without it not make that much of sense. So I'm just checking if it can understand all of the things properly. So create registration bot and ask information about name, age, city, and program. Let's see. I just click on the create, and let's see how it built this information. It has started building the information, and I can rephrase this all the information here. And if you can see on the page, it already gives me some information there. So I have to use this and age, this all the things there. And thank you for the registration. Here's the summary. Let's see what is in the summary I have. So let me just go there. Okay, it has all of the information what I have already provided to them. Let me just quickly check what is in trigger phase there. So you can do this and register. So please register me. There is a typo. I'm expecting it should understand, but let's see. So it understood. It was not properly registered, but it understood. My name is Ambesh, and what is your age? Do you really want to know? Okay, my age is, and listen, 50 year old. I did not write the numeric 5, and let's see how it is behaving there. In which city do you live? I live in Berlin, and see the magic here. So what program? Okay, there is one more question. Maybe Copilot. And you see, like I just wrote the whole story there, but it picked the right thing out from there. City, program, and this is how you can build all of the things in a very quick time span. It doesn't took me, I think, more than 15-20 minutes to build a brand new bot. This definitely need to be extended. With this bot, you can't go to the market, but this is a base where you can start it and spinning up the bot in a very quick time frame or the fashion. So this is all about this. And as I mentioned, like I told you about the age, the same way you can create a prompt for the color also. So if you want to add something here, you can simply go. So you can add any of the action here. So send a message, ask a question, ask by the adaptive cards. You can add conditions there. Also, you can set the variables, assign something to the variables, pass this or clear all the variables. On the topic management, you can transfer this to the other topics. You can end the conversation, or you can go to the sleep as well. Then on the call of action, and the advanced is somehow important. Advanced I have already shown you. Call the action. You can actually create a bot as a plugin, and then you can feed the data from here to the plugin there, right? So this is quite much possible. If it is already available there, that is okay. If it is not, you can just simply click on the create a flow. It will open the Power Automate window for you, and then you can feed the data as an input parameter, and then you can fetch the data as an output parameter there. So here you can simply go and as an input, and then you can use, example, the text there, provide your input, and then use it there based on that one. So you can, right now I just delete it. Same way for the output, you can provide any of the output after operation. Whatever you are doing in the Power Automate, you can provide the output back to the end user or to the bot by the output parameter. So this is quite much. Okay. The only thing is after this, if you will come here, you have to do the done. And most of the cases, you have to refresh this. So if you want to refresh it, let me just save it. So if you will refresh it, then you will, on the next time, if you will follow the same step, you don't have to create the new, plugin there, but then you can choose the options from the available plugin from the list. Okay, that is more and less. And then I would say here, like you can definitely connect me to my social platform, ask your queries to my Twitter handlers, which is Ambishan19. Scan the code and connect me over the LinkedIn. You can subscribe my YouTube channels for the more slides and the more demos on the Copilot, Azure, Dynamic 365, and the Power Platform technology. I'm really thankful to all of you to spend your valuable time today and looking for the positive feedback and the suggestion in the chat window. Also, I hope you find the session interesting and useful, at least to find a new dimension around the Copilot Studio. On this note, I would like to open the floor for the Q&A now. So if somebody have a question, they can ask. Or I remember there was a question from the last session to Narayan. Something around, where we should use the Copilot Studio or the Azure AI Studio. So now, because we covered both of the topics, so maybe I could give a quick walkthrough there, not very deep because of the time constraint. The third option, I'm not familiar with that, very, very deep into that one. And probably it's, this time I'm not a good person to talk about the third option. So let's talk about these two options there. So the first one is when we talk about the Microsoft Copilot Studio. So suppose I want to have a low code experience which empowers both the business and the pro developers to build the Copilots. Copilot Studio is the best option for me. But at the same time, if I want to build and manage my own infrastructures and require the full life cycle of the DevOps support, I could definitely go for the Azure AI Studio in that particular case. The second one is like if you speed up and the low ongoing maintenance it is an important aspect for you or for me, I would go for the Copilot Studio. But at the same time, if I want to be able to train my own large language models, I would go for the Azure AI Studio, because the more you go to the Azure AI Studio, it's not a software as a service, it's a platform as a service, and then you have to provide all of the effort there to maintain it. It's the same thing like when we talk about the Logic apps or when we talk about the the Power Automate. So one is the SaaS offering, one is the platform as a service offering, so the PaaS offering. Next one, you can think about like if you want to manage your services where the Microsoft managed infrastructure for me, not me personally or my organization, I would go for the Copilot Studio. As I mentioned, it's a SaaS offering, so Microsoft will manage everything for you, like scalability, downtime, everything. At the same time, like if you have an experienced AI developers in your team who want a unified AI platform for the professional developers to build the Copilots and the GPTs, go for the AI Studio. The last one is maybe example if you want to build in security and the governance, because I shown you a few of the area about the admin section, go for the Copilot Studio. It's easy, like a makers or the developers who have not that deep knowledge, they can also try able to manage it. At the same time, like if example you want to do an image or DAL E generations things, then the Azure AI Studio is best suited for you. So what I'm trying to say with all of this example, if you really want less effort, you should go for the Copilot Studio. But there is always a kind of the limitation because it's a SaaS offering, so you can't extend as per your own. Like not a lot of customization, not you can do everything by your own. But if you have your own development team, you want a more control on all of this conversational UI and everything, maybe in terms of integration and so on, then the Azure AI Studio is probably best fitted for your fit for your business needs or the organization. So on that note, I would really like to thank you, and because I think Arpit would be there for the next session, and I will just quickly answer the queries if it not been already answered on the chat window directly from here. So thank you so much, everyone.
Hey, thank you, Ambis. Thank you for the insightful session.
Welcome, Arpit. So do you want to share your screen?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I can see your PowerPoint.
Yeah, you can see, right? And you can hear me loud and clear, right?
Right. Now it is in presentation mode, so I can see.
Perfect.
I can hear you.
So thank you, Ambes. Okay. So hello everyone. Well, I hope you had a great learning till now, and thank you, Raz, Narayan, and Ambes for all the great session you have provided and sharing all the good stuff related to Azure. And thanks to Raz to share all the fundamentals of Azure, the Microsoft Copilot and what is artificial intelligence. My session is all about Copilot in Dynamic 365 sales. Okay, so I've seen like there are a lot of questions on the community related to the licensing of its features, and I still find like a lot of people are still not clear about like how the Microsoft Copilot works and how it architecture works. Okay, so based on my experience and based on my knowledge, I just wanted to discuss about the fundamentals of Microsoft Copilots before jumping into the Dynamic 365 sales. I'll discuss about the Copilot, the fundamentals and how it architecture works, and then we will jump into the Dynamic 365 sales, that what are the features that it provides, and then we will quickly have a look the live demonstration of all the capabilities it provides. Some of them are probably in preview, but not really. Most of the features are still in general availability stage, but I will let you know if anything is in the preview. Okay. All right. So before starting the session, just wanted to give a quick introduction about me. My name is RP Srivastav. I am 3 times Microsoft MVP awarded and 3 times Microsoft certified trainer. And I've been sharing my knowledge with the community since 2019 through various channels. I share my knowledge through my blogs, my YouTube channels, by running mentorship programs and some kind of challenging series. So you heard about my Power Pages 30 days learning challenge as well, and soon I'm going to start the Power Pages 7 days learning challenge as well, where I'm going to discuss or share the details about the Copilot AI features in the Power Pages along with all the new features that Microsoft has announced. All right, I'm very excited to announce that I'm releasing my book in June 2024. I'm really excited because I've been working very hard to write this. So it's not only about the Canvas app, it covers the model driven app and the Canvas app both. So those who want to have a very good learning about the Dynamic 365 CE apps, that is called model driven apps, and the Canvas app, it covers everything. So I have written total 15 chapters starting from the evolution of Power Apps and till the deployment and the sharing the best practices based on my experience till now. So I have put everything in this book, whatever I have learned, whatever I have experienced from the community, from by my own project experiences. So I would recommend to read this book once it is published. So stay tuned on my social media channels because I'm keep posting all the updates related to that. Okay. Well, as I told, like first of all, I just wanted to cover what is Microsoft Copilot. Okay, as everyone in the previous sessions, Raz and Narayan has also given the brief understanding about that, but I'm just thinking about like a lot of audience are from a very basic level. They don't know really what is Microsoft Copilot. So I just wanted to give a very fundamental, concept about that. Okay, so you can assume like Microsoft Copilot is just a chatting application. Okay, so you deal with a lot of chatting application in the daily life like WhatsApp, Facebook Messengers, and Telegrams and all. So it's similar like that kind of chatting application, but it actually provides you the enterprise level of security and provide you the contextual data. So Microsoft Copilot is a chat-based application that is developed by Microsoft, and basically it aims to provide the personalized assistance to the user for a range of tasks and the activities. Okay, so you can see like in this picture, it's just a simple chatbot or embedded application that Microsoft has provided within all their applications and all their products. It's not only in the Power Platform or in the Dynamic 365, they have provided this capabilities in all their products these days. So if you use the Windows, if you use the Power Platform applications, Dynamic 365 application, Microsoft 365 applications, everywhere you will find this. Okay, so this is a very layman, a definition of the Microsoft Copilot. Now, you have heard a lot about the Microsoft Copilot and ChatGPT because Microsoft has announced to Microsoft Copilot after the ChatGPT was launched. So there are a lot of questions about that, like what exactly the difference between the ChatGPT and the Copilot. Okay, so from my understanding, ChatGPT is something that when you ask any questions in the ChatGPT, it's also a chatting application. You get the data from the internet, from the publicly available sources. It might be in the books, articles, website, and social media. But if I talk about the Microsoft Copilot, okay, the major difference between ChatGPT and the Microsoft Copilot is the type of data it provides in the response. Okay, ChatGPT provides you the response based on the public data that is available. But if I talk about the Microsoft Copilot, it provides you the contextual and the personalized data. Like, what does that contextual and the personalized mean? Okay, I will talk to that in the next slide. But just imagine I'm just having a conversation with the Copilot, and I'm dealing with some customer, right? So if I ask some questions related to if I ask any question to the Copilot, so it will always provide me the information related to that customer or whatever the work or whatever activities I'm doing in a particular application. Okay, so that means it is contextual information and the personalized information along with the public data as well. Let's imagine, because I have given this session in the Brussels couple of months back, where I have demonstrated the Copilot capabilities in the customer service as well. And there I presented, like, you are working as a customer service agent and you are dealing with the customer, and you probably not have all the kind of answers or the queries, the answers of all the queries that the customer is asking. Okay, so probably you are going to the internet, type on the Google, and search about something, and Google will provide you list of all the articles to you and will not provide the relevant or the personalized information related to that particular customer, right? But if you ask the Copilot and you are in the call with the customer, you will get the contextual information about that. So it not only collect the data that is available within your organization, like from the Outlook, Teams, SharePoint, OneDrive, Word, Excel file, and your Dataverse or Azure, but also it searches the data from the internet using Bing search. Okay, so it is the combination of both. Okay, now how does this work? How it collects the data from the the Microsoft applications and from the Bing search? It happens using Azure OpenAI. Okay, so Azure OpenAI is basically the backbone behind that, which provides some REST API services, and it uses the LLM, that is large language models like GPT-3 and the GPT-4. Okay, now if we understand this with one real world example. Okay, so if I ask the ChatGPT to write a follow-up email to the customer on the outstanding invoice. Okay, so I'll simply go to the ChatGPT and I'll ask this question to ChatGPT. So this is how I get the answer. Okay, but this answer is quite useful to me. But imagine you can see here there is no contextual data. You can see the customer name, invoice number, invoice date, invoice amount. This is dynamic. You can just copy this the email content and just paste it in your Dynamics or in whatever application you are using, and you have to replace this particular information. Okay, it just provide you some the random information. It's not a contextual information. But what happen if I ask something with the Copilot? Okay, so let's say I have asked Copilot, I'm working on the opportunity, and I ask Copilot, like, summarize this opportunity, because there are a lot of fields and there are a lot of data available on the opportunity, but I just want to have a summarize of that opportunity. So you can see in the right picture, it provides me the contextual information specific to that opportunity, right? So the red blocks, you can see the revenue, the closing date of the opportunity, and the actual annual revenue of that particular customers. It provides that data. In the similar way, if I ask if I'm I'm a salesperson or I'm a customer service agent, and I'm working with particular customer, and before selling any particular product to that customer, I just want to have a quick background about that customer, like how this customer is doing in the market, what are the products it sells, and what is the recent latest information about that customer. So probably I can simply ask the Copilot, and you can see, like, it provides, it do the Bing search, okay, and provide all the relevant updates related to that particular account. So this is a simple example how the Copilot collect the data from the organization. In the right picture, you can see it, the opportunity which is stores in the Dynamics, and the second picture demonstrate how it collect the data from the internet as well using Bing search. All right, so this is how the Microsoft Copilot different from the ChatGPT. Well, how it architecture works, because to you it's just a simple chatting application. You just ask the question, you get the response within a second, okay? But being a technical person, you must be interested about like how the architecture works, how the things happens in the background, right? Like it's a SaaS based product, but you must be interested about like how the things working in the background. So there are basically three or I would say four major components here, which actually plays a crucial role in this Copilot to make it work. Okay, the first is your business applications. Okay, so this is nothing, it's just an UI or the applications that you are using. It could be the Microsoft 365 applications like Word, Outlook, Teams, or it could be the Dynamics 365 CE applications like your sales, customer service, marketing, and all. And it could be some Power Platform based components. Okay, so it could be anything. So this is the first thing which actually initiate the Copilot to work. Okay, the second thing that is one of the most key component of the Copilot architecture is the Microsoft Graph. Okay, and you can consider this as a database. Okay, because if you ask something, you need to get the data. Now from where this data will come from, it comes from various sources. Like there are a lot of applications, a lot of products of Microsoft, and your data gets stored in multiple locations. It might be possible my documents are stored in the SharePoint, my emails are stored in the Outlook, my chatting conversation are stored in the Teams, and my sales data is stored in the Dynamics, right? So my data is distributed among different applications, right? So it is the responsibility of the Microsoft Graph that it collects the data from the different applications or different sources and present it to the Copilot. All right. The third component is the Copilot itself that actually communicate or connect with the different components and collect the data and give the response back to the user. The fourth component, that basically it's just a AI engine, you can say. So all the kind of processing, all the kind of AI modeling kind of things, the GPT, GPT-4, all kind of AI models basically comes in this large language model. So from a very layman terminology, you can understand this LLM is nothing, it's just a collection of algorithms. Okay, so there are a lot of algorithms, machine learnings, algorithms are running there that actually create the response in the natural language. Okay, because one of the beauty of this kind of application is that you don't need to be a technical, you don't need to be expert in a technology, right? You can ask the questions in your own natural language and you can get the response in your own language. Okay, so that is the beauty, and this only can happen using this LLM. All right, now this LLM basically use the Azure OpenAI. I don't want to go into dive deep into that because you already learned from the Narayan session like how the Azure OpenAI and services work. But Azure OpenAI make it possible. So it actually collect the it runs a lot of algorithms and collect the responses. And the last one is the Microsoft Trust Boundary, because because there are a lot of customers and the partners has these questions like because all the AI model always works on the because all the AI model works when you train them, right? You have to provide them a lot of data. Once you train them, then they will provide the responses. So what kind of data they use? Are they using any other customer data? So no. So it is basically everything works within the Microsoft Trust Boundary. So my data is my data. AI model or Azure OpenAI service will not use the other customer data to train the AI model to provide the responses to the customer or to the users. Okay, so everything is secure and everything is, everything is done within the Microsoft trust boundary. Okay, so these are the major 5 components. Now, how they interact with each other. Okay, so the first thing is that you open an application that could be, I am assuming like you opening any Dynamic 365 CE application that could be sales or customer service. Okay, so if you ask a question to a co-pilot, for example, draft an email, something like that. Okay, so this is the first step. The second, so I would forgot to say, like, this is called user prompt. Okay, so this is quite technical term that Microsoft uses in their architecture, but in a layman language, you can just simply understand. You ask a question to the co-pilot. The second thing is happen is, your request go to the Microsoft Graph. Okay, so Microsoft Graph, so this process is called grounding or the pre-processing. That means you query the multiple data sources of Microsoft to get the contextual data. Okay, so you go to the Azure, you go to the Dataverse, you go to the Microsoft 365 applications like the PowerPoint, Excel, OneDrive, Teams, and whatever applications they are. Now, how it happens? It actually happens using Microsoft Graph. Now, if you're wondering, like, what is this Microsoft Graph? So Microsoft Graph looks like this. Okay, it basically connects all the applications, Microsoft 365 applications, using Graph API. So it actually make the connection between the customer and their data and provide you the contextual information. Okay, so this is how the Microsoft Graph work, because Microsoft Graph is a gateway and it provides the REST API that is called Microsoft Graph API. So I have, in a lot of my sessions when I presented the Power Pages, when you have to deal with some Azure AD components, nowadays we call it Microsoft Entra ID. So sometimes when you have to, interact with some Microsoft applications like Microsoft Entra ID or, OneDrive or some, the Teams, you sometimes need to use the Graph API. Right? So this Graph API actually works in the background to collect all the contextual data. Now, the third thing is that once you collect, so once you retrieve all the contextual data, you give it back to the co-pilot. So this is called Microsoft Graph Response, and it collects the contextual data. Now, this contextual data can be in different format, right? You can imagine, like, some data can be found in the document, some data can be found in the chat, some data can be found in the opportunity. So the data can be found in the different format or in a different distributed way. Some data can be structured and some data can be non-structured, right? So how we can, collect this data and provide in a natural language. So the fourth process is called modified prompt. So whatever data, contextual data we collect, the co-pilot send it to the LLM. Okay. Now LLM, as I told you, there are a lot of algorithms, there are a lot of AI models working there along with Azure OpenAI, and it actually converts that contextual data in the natural language. Okay, so you have provided the collection of data that you retrieve from various sources, and you get the data in a natural language that you are actually going to send it to the user. Okay, now you don't send that data immediately to the user. You again send that data to the Microsoft Graph, because it is required that whatever data you are sending it to the user, it should be compliant, it should be secured. So for example, I have the read access, or for example, I don't have access on a particular table in the Dataverse. That means I should not be able to read the data. So this actually makes sure by this process that you only get the data that you are compliant for, okay, that you are authorized for. Okay, then once you do this post processing, the AI checks security and compliance, then finally you send that data back to the user, so that users see that response. Okay, so this is how the whole architecture of the Microsoft Copilot works. Now, as I told you, this Microsoft Copilot architecture is not only for the sales or for a specific application. It's just an architecture for everywhere we are using the Copilot. But if I talk about the Copilot for sales, as I told you, like, it's everywhere. It's not only in the Power Platform or Dynamics or in the Microsoft 365 nowadays. You found the Microsoft Copilot everywhere. Okay, so let's jump into our today's topic, that how the Copilot use it in the Dynamic 365 sales. All right. Now, if I talk about the Copilot in Dynamic 365 sales, whenever you incorporate all the Microsoft Copilot capabilities or all the AI capabilities in the Dynamic 365 sales, just to maximize the sales productivity and strengthen your customer relationship, then that is called Copilot in Dynamic 365 sales. Okay, so I'm not going to discuss about the features of the Dynamic 365 sales because that is not part of our demo. I'm going to discuss about, on top of the Dynamic 365 sales, what capabilities that Copilot provides. Imagine you are a sales, person or a sales manager, and you are drafting an email, because sometimes you spend a lot of time in the non-productive things when you are dealing with the customer. That is quite not relevant, to close the deal or to make the revenue for the companies, right? So Copilot and the AI can do these kind of things, like writing an email, when you are going for a meeting, then, collecting the meeting for notes for you, and a lot of things it can do that you spend a lot of time to, to do such kind of non-productive things. So you can concentrate on the productive things, you can concentrate on the sales, and let the Copilot AI do all kind of this kind of job. Okay, so I'll show you all kind of capabilities of the Copilot. But you just imagine, like, Copilot for sales leverage the data from the CRM platform, right? For example, your Dataverse data like leads, opportunity, accounts, competitors, and all. It works with the Microsoft Graph to collect the data from different sources of the Microsoft 365 applications, and then obviously from the public data like Bing search and all. Okay, so it's simple as that. This is how the Copilot and Dynamic 365 sale works. If I talk about the features, I'm going to demonstrate all the features in the live demo, but just wanted to give a quick brief about it, like what all features it provides. So the feature number one is the record summarization. Okay, and most of the times you need to provide a quick summary or the opportunity and the lead records. As I told you, like, you are working in the opportunity that has a lot of data, related to the SharePoint, where your documents are stored. You have a lot of emails, stored in the Outlook. You had a lot of conversation in the Teams. So it's very difficult to scan through all the data and collect a summary by manually. So Copilot do it for you. It actually summarize everything. So you can see here in the first picture, it actually collected the summary. And in the second picture, you can see it collected all the documents from the SharePoint related to that particular lead or the opportunity. So this feature is not only for the leads, but it is for the opportunities as well. That is the feature number one. Feature number two is the recent changes. Okay, so sometimes multiple coworkers are working on the same opportunity on the lead records, and you just wanted to aware like what recent changes are being made on that particular data. So you can simply ask the Copilot, and it will provide you details like what happens with this opportunity, which particular data has been updated in last 7 days or in last 24 hours, like you can see in this picture. The third feature is the meeting preparation. So it actually helps you prepare for your upcoming meetings, summarizing the relevant information from the opportunity or the leads. So because when you are going for a meeting, you must have the context of the last meeting, what you had a conversation last time, and what are the major points that you have to discuss with your clients. So these kind of things you don't need to manually review into the data. You can ask the Copilot, and it will list down all the points that you don't forget to have a conversation with your customer. Feature number 4, email assistance. So that is quite useful. Sometimes not all the coworkers are proficient enough to write the emails, because they have to spend a lot of times to scan through all the data, then contextual information, then they need to spend a lot of times to write a professional emails, right? So you don't need to worry about that. It actually helps coworker to write an email in the context of your data available in your CRM. Okay. And this feature is not only available in the CRM, it is also available in the Outlook as well. So that I'm going to show it right now. News update. So as I told you, like you are working with a customer, you get a lead, or you get some request from a customer, and you just want to have some detailed information about that customer before doing a sale for them. Then you can collect the data from the Bing search. So you can ask the Copilot, can you provide some latest news about this account? So it will go to the internet and provide all the relevant information about that. Okay, so it helps you make the sales decisions based on the data. Yeah. Okay, so these all the features that I discussed previously are features of Dynamic 365 Sales. Okay, but there are two additional features that Microsoft Copilot provides for the sales is in the Outlook. Okay, because like being a salesperson or the manager, you have to deal with a lot of Microsoft 365 applications like Teams, like Outlook to have an email conversation with the customer. You use the Teams for having a chatting and for having a meeting with the customer. So it also provides you all the kind of Copilot capabilities in the Outlook. So I don't want to go into much details because I'm going to demonstrate that as well. But in the Teams, so as you can see, like this is how in the Outlook, in the right panel, you can see a Copilot for sales where you get the contextual information from the dynamics. You can see the opportunity, accounts, and everything. And the similar way, in the Teams also, you can also, when you are having a meeting with your customer, you must be aware about all the data that is stored in your dynamics. So you can see here in the left panel, you are having a meeting with your customer, and the right panel, you have all the contextual data that you should discuss or should not discuss, right? It also provides you the competitor details as well if you have the data stored in the competitor table. Okay, so I'll show you that as well in the Teams. And the another feature is, once your meeting is completed, it actually helps you collect the minute of meeting. It actually helps you, what are the summary points, at which stage you need to create a task, where your conversation went really well, where your conversation was not really well. So it also provide you such kind of sentiments as well. Okay, so this is all the features that you going to have a look at it in the live demonstration. License, I will cover it later once I will have a quick demonstration of all the features. Okay. All right. Can someone please confirm that they can see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. All right. So first of all, if we have to use the Copilot capabilities in the sales, there are two things. Either you want to first explore the features of it just to demonstrate to your client before make a final decision whether you want to use it or not, or you already have the license of Dynamics 365 sales. Okay, I'm assuming you don't have that. So what you want to do it, you first of all, you want to create a Dynamics 365 trial. So you just need to navigate to this link and just click on try for free. Okay, so once you do it, if you already have the Microsoft Entra ID account, it will automatically create an environment for you. So if you can see here, I've already created it. Once I done that, it automatically created a sales environment for me. Okay, so once you set up an environment, you get to see basically two apps, Sales Hub and the Sales Trial. Okay, Sales Hub is the application that provides you all the kind of features that Sales Dynamics 365 Sales provides. And you can use this particular model-driven application to enable or disable, other features, not only the Copilot features, but there are a lot of other features that you get inbuilt in the enterprise or the premium license, right? So it provides you all kind of things. So if you just click on this app, it takes you to okay, yeah. So this is how the Copilot, this is the Sales Hub screen where you can see like, this is the model driven app application. And here you see all the, the settings that you can use it, like personal settings, the app settings. So in the app settings, you will get a lot of features like Copilot, not only the Copilot, but LinkedIn integrations, Teams meetings, so all the kind of features you get. So it is a central hub where you can enable or disable the features. The second application is the sales trial. That is because you may not want to give the access the sales hub to all the co-workers in your organization. So you can probably provide them the sales trial or whatever applications you are creating. The third option, sometimes you can create the custom model driven application as well. Okay, so if you already have the Dynamic 365 sales license, the enterprise or the the premium license, you get all these capabilities in the custom application as well, because it might be questions like can I get this Copilot capabilities only in the the out of box sales hub and the sales trial. If I create a custom application, so I just 30 minutes before I just created a model driven application. So you will get the Copilot capabilities in that as well. So that is quite possible. Okay. So once you have created the trial environment, then you just need to head over to the sales hub, probably not able to click due to that. Okay. So oh, this is really annoying. Do anyone know like how to hide this? Okay. All right. So once you head over to the Sales Hub, you first need to enable the Copilot, right? Because you need to start using the Copilot capabilities. So you just need to head over to your Sales Hub application, go to your app settings. And once you go to the app setting, you will find this option, Power Your Sales with Copilot. Okay. And if you go to the Copilot settings, since I have already enabled it, so you just need to enable this option here. So default is off. So you just need to turn on this Copilot setting. And if you go to the manage app, here you will see all the applications. So you will see your sales trial and the sales hub. Okay, you can find your custom application as well in the list if you have any. So if you want to enable that Copilot capabilities in a specific sales application, then you can simply toggle to off and on. Okay, if you want to provide to the all the Dynamic 365 application, then you can set to on. Yeah. So this is the one setting you have to do it. The second setting you have to do is you have to enable the auditing, okay, especially on the opportunity, lead, and the account, because these are the core tables of the Dataverse that actually works in the sales, right? So I'm not getting that the notification because I've already enabled that. But if you will set up that, you will get that notification that you need to you must be enable the auditing feature, because there are a lot of Copilot capabilities that works only whenever you have the auditing is enabled. Okay. The second thing is auditing. Third thing is you need to go to the advanced Copilot setting, where you need to decide like which particular fields you want to use it in your Copilot. Okay. So here you can see there are basically two entities are there. I would say table, opportunities, and the leads. Okay. So in the opportunity, if you want to get the summary of the opportunity, what all are fields you want to include in that. Okay. So by default, estimated revenue, customer need, proposed solution, and these kind of fields are included. But you can include other fields as well, because it might be depends on your own business requirement. Okay. So if you, let's say you have a field called some custom field you have, and you want that if someone make any changes in that particular field, it also should comes in the summary. So you just need to add that field here. Okay. So same in the recent changes. If you have made any recent changes in that particular field, you need to add that particular opportunity field, account field, contact, opportunity, products, and the competitors. So you need to select those fields. And same goes with the leads. If you need to get the summary, you need to enable that field so that it collect the summary from that field as well. And if you want to check like what are the recent changes being done on particular field, then you can add that field as well. Okay. All right. So this is kind of prerequisite. You have to do it before start using the Copilot. Once you do it, I don't think it takes a lot of time. It takes hardly 10-15 minutes to enable all these kind of settings. Then you can simply head over to the main sales area. And here you can see this icon called Copilot, okay, in your sales application. Now, once you click this, all the features popped up here. Now, there are basically two kind of features that Copilot has distributed. One is chatting related features and one is email related features. So since I'm not on the email screen right now, so that is disabled. I will show you that in a while. But I can ask these kind of questions to the Copilot. Get info, ask questions, and the stay ahead. So if I click here, this is the Copilot icon. So get info, it will provide the get latest news for an account. Show my pipeline. So this will provide all the opportunities that is currently you're working on. Summarize the lead, summarize the opportunity. So this provides all the these kind of details under get info. Ask a question. You can ask like what is the recent changes been done on the lead, what are the recent changes done on the opportunity, and what's new with my sales record. So it will list down all the the leads and the opportunity that recently been changed and what's newly assigned to me. So sometimes there are a lot of data has been assigned to you, but you cannot keep track of that. So you can ask the Copilot to provide you this guidance. And the third option is a stay ahead. You can prepare for the sales appointment. You can show email that need the follow-up. Okay, so there are two things here. Since I have not opened any specific opportunity, okay, so how if I ask this question to Copilot, like what's changed for the opportunity? So how do the Copilot know about it? Like which opportunity I'm actually asking for? Okay, so if I specify any specific opportunity in the double quotes, for example, I can take the opportunity title and put it here. It will provide the list of all the changes being done on that specific opportunity. But if I don't ask any specific opportunity, I simply ask what's changed for the opportunity. It will go through the Dataverse and will check all the opportunity that is I'm owning it, right? And then it provides the list of all the opportunities here. Okay, so these are the opportunity that I'm currently working on, and these are the opportunity which are recently being changed. Okay, now what is the update related to this specific opportunity? I can still click on the get updates. Okay, so it says like there is no changes on this particular opportunity. Okay, now if I open a specific opportunity and then ask the Copilot like what exactly the change. So for example, let me open this opportunity. Now, if I open a particular opportunity or the lead record, the Copilot will provide me the response in the context of that particular opportunity only. Okay, so this is the opportunity. The sample data you can also create it in your trial instance. So what I have done it recently in the customer need field, I just added this particular line like customer is also looking for setting up new computer in the premise. Okay, so I've just added this particular thing a while ago. And when I ask the Copilot, like what's changed for this particular opportunity? Okay, I don't need to specify because I already opened the opportunity, so it already gets the context. If I ask the Copilot what recently changed for this opportunity, it collects the data from the customer need field. Now, why it collected the data from customer need field? The first thing, I have already enabled the audit history. Okay, because Copilot collect the data from the audit history. So in the audit history also you can see like the customer need field has been changed recently. So Copilot collected the data from there. So you can open the audit history from there as well. Okay, so you can see like quite a while ago, I just made a change in the customer need field. So if you want to add some other fields to list down the changes, make sure that you enable that field in your Copilot setting, right? Otherwise it will not display in the recent changes. Okay, So that is the one thing. Now imagine I just wanted to write an email to the customer. So I'll click on the, okay, I'll not go here. I'll simply click here and click on email. Now if I head over to the email screen, you can see like email option has been turned on, but this is currently in the preview, as you can see. And if I can ask the customer, and if I can ask the Copilot to describe, for example, like write an email. So if I simply ask some, sample error, okay, let me refresh this. Okay, so let me head over to email again. Write an email to take the follow-up customer on standing invoice. Oh, okay. So since it is in preview, so it might be possible that something went wrong. It was working earlier, but no worries. Okay. So you can ask this Copilot email feature. Probably will try this option in Outlook to check like how the email response generated. It might be preview, so we'll try that later. So this is the option you can simply use to draft an email, and from here directly you can copy the email to here, and you don't need to worry about like what needs to be right. And you can also change that email content and then send it to the customer. Okay. Well, so these are all the features. I don't want to demonstrate each and every one. You can simply set up a trial and can start exploring them. So this is how exactly you can use the features in the Dynamics 365 sales. Now the next thing I just wanted to show you how to enable the Copilot capabilities in the Outlook. Okay, so let me go to the Outlook screen. Okay, so this is the Outlook screen, and a short while ago I just sent an email from my personal email ID to the customer that hello Arpit, just to let you know that I haven't received my order yet. It was expected to be received yesterday, but is still waiting for it. Could you please share the update? Okay, and this opportunity is basically, if I go, okay, so if you can see this opportunity, this is the opportunity, and this is the customer associated with that, and this is the email address on the contact. Yeah, so you can see this is the email address of the contact, and I've sent the email from this contact. Okay, so if I send this email, being a sales coworker, I will simply have to reply or respond to this particular email. So what I will do it, if I go here and click on reply to all, or reply, you get to see this Copilot for sales option on the top. Yeah. Since I've already enabled this, so that's why I'm having this option. In the license part, I will let you know like how to enable this kind of settings and what kind of license you need it. So if I click on Copilot for Sales, it actually pops up a Copilot for Sales screen here. And the interesting thing is that it actually collect the data from the Dynamics CRM. Okay, it collected the contact that is associated with the opportunity. It retrieves all the opportunities that is associated with this particular customer that I shown you in the Dynamics a while ago, and this is the account that is associated with that. Okay, so here you have a couple of options. You can first may want to reply to this customer, so you don't need to write an email. You just simply click on reply to an inquiry. Okay, so it automatically scan through the email that customer has sent, and it automatically generate the email for you. So thank you for reaching out to us regarding your order. We truly value your partnership with and this, and yep, I apologize for the delay in receiving your order. Right, you can see like how it actually generate the personalized. Why? Because it has added the account and the contextual data, because customer is worried about the the delay of the order. So it actually generate the personalized and the contextual data. You can see here. And so if you're happy with the suggestion, you can just click on add to email. It will automatically popped up here. Okay, and then you can simply add it here as well. And you may also want to save this email in the Dynamic 365 as well, right? So what you can do it, you can simply copy it, you can go back and you can save it from here. Okay, so if you save this, you can create connect to a record, which record you want to connect to. So if I select this and if you click save, then it will automatically create a new email in that timeline. Okay, so once you send this email, I will save it to the Dynamic 365. Okay, so if I send this email, then it will automatically create a new email in that timeline in the Dynamics, right? So how you can see like how it do the bi-directional communication from Dynamics to Outlook and Outlook to Dynamics. This is the one thing. Second thing, you can see like this is the contact, but imagine you get the email from some unknown person and you want to create a new contact directly from the Outlook. So you can click on the contact and you can first name, last name, job title and everything, all the information you can fill it up here and can save the data. Okay, this is the another thing. Same like the contact, you can create the accounts as well. Okay, so these are the field. In a short while, I'm going to share you like how you can enable this fields and the forms and how you can do this kind of configuration. But as of now, it is available for contact, account and the opportunity. Okay, so these are the things. And one interesting thing is that it also provide you the collaboration option in the Teams. Imagine you get the email from the customer and you want to discuss this particular case or the sales scenario, or discuss about your prospect customer with your other co-workers as well. So what you can do it, you can simply set up a deal room. So this is nothing, you just going to create a channel where you can add the other co-workers in the Teams and you can start having conversation related to that, right? Because sometimes you want to have the collaborative discussion related to a particular thing before making any final decision. So it helps you create the chatting room or the group as well in the Teams. So you can create the group with the channel name as the opportunity topic name, or you can create the name as the account name. Okay. So these are all the features you get to see in the Outlook. Now, if I head over to the Teams, so that is the third options that we have. So if I head over to the Teams, the first thing I just wanted to show you how you can enable all these, the tables, all the fields and all. So you just need to first click here and just type Copilot for apps. So click on the apps and here you need to type Copilot for sales in your Teams. So you will get this option. I already have added in my team, so I'm getting open option, but you will get the add option like this. Okay, just need to click on add. It will be available in your left panel. If you pin it like this, I just need to pin it. Once you click this, you will get an option called home. There you find all the basic details about the Copilot for sales for learning purpose. If you head over to the settings page, here you will find Copilot AI. First of all, you need to enable this option in order to use this Copilot capabilities in your Teams. And you have the option whether you want to enable for the entire organization or for a specific group. And you can specify, exclude specific security groups as well. Copilot AI, you need to enable this option, and you can select this option if you want to try all the preview feature. Then you come to the forms. Now here you can see there are 3 record types available as of now: contact, opportunity and account. Now for which record type, if you add any other tables, so you can add it from here. So for example, you want to add probably the lead, then you can search for lead and you can add that as well. Okay, so then this lead option will also be there in your Outlook and your Teams. Now, if you want to add some specific field, then you need to click on the contacts. Now here you get the option whether you want to allow user to create the records and editing the record. So this option you can enable and disable. Based on that, you get this, Outlook I was showing you, right? There's a create contact and create account option is there. So you can, adjust the setting from here. Now, which field you want to show it, that you need to drop, you need to select and enable these kind of field, and which field you want to make it required, so that you can also adjust from here. Okay, if you have created some new fields and it's not being appeared here, then you can refresh your data as well. Okay, so this is how you can simply do it. Now there are two major features that this Microsoft Teams provide, because Microsoft Teams is all about the meetings, right? So how it generates the suggestion for you when you are having a meeting with your customer, right? So I'm not going to set up a meeting with the customer because I'm already in the meeting, but just for the demonstration purpose, 1 hour before I just created a random meeting and have a conversation with the customer, and based on that it generated the AI content for you. Okay, the first thing what I can do, just to present you, I'll go to the Teams, sorry, Dynamics. Okay, and what I'm going to do it, I'm going to set up a meeting with the customer, because customer has sent me an email that my order is not yet received. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, as a coworker, I want to set up a meeting with the customer. Okay, so I'm going to create a Teams meeting for that. So just enable this Teams meeting. Attendees is already there. Subject is discuss shipment. Okay. Okay, and we'll schedule it for probably today, and okay, 6:30. All right, and then I will save and close. So customer is complaining like my order has not been received yet. So coworker has set up a meeting just to have a discussion with the customer, just to let them know like why this order is getting delayed. Okay, so I have already enabled the Teams integration with my Dynamics. So that is separate. That is not related with the Copilot for sales. But if you want to, integrate your Microsoft Teams with your Dynamics 365 sales, similarly, you have to go to the settings, app settings, and this is the Teams meeting option. You get it, right? So you just need to enable a couple of settings here like this. So by doing that, your calendar, your meetings, everything will get synced with your Outlook and the Dynamic 365. No, sorry, the Teams. Okay. So as you can see, I just set up a meeting. So if I head over to the Teams, I should see this meeting in the Teams. Here it is. All right. So if I go to the calendar, you can see discuss order related issue, delay issue. So this Teams, this meeting has already created. Now imagine I'm going to have a call with the customer. So I just open this and join this meeting. Can you hear me, guys? Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Yeah. Sorry for that. Okay, so can you see my screen?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so if I'm going to have a call with the customer. Okay, the first thing what you will see it, if I go to the calendar and if I open this meeting, probably like this, I probably not able to join it, otherwise we'll drop it. So if I click on the Dynamic 365, there is a new tab here, the Dynamic 365. You can see like, I will directly see the customer information or the opportunity details for which I'm going to have a conversation with the customer. So you can see here the same opportunity related to that. I'm going to have a conversation with the customer. It is already opened here. Okay. But if you join the meeting in the right panel, you will see some summary of that opportunity as well. Okay. If I will join it, I will be throughout from the actual meeting, but you can just test this feature as well. Okay. So similarly like this. So this is the one feature that when you are having a call with a customer, you get the contextual information in your right panel to get the details about that particular opportunity. Okay, this is the one thing. The second feature in the Teams that you get it once you have a call with the customer. Once you finish having a call with the customer, make sure you are recording that meeting, and your transcription should be enabled, because the Copilot for Sales only works when you're recording and your Copilot, your recording and your transcription is enabled, because based on that conversation only it actually do the artificial intelligence, the analysis, and based on that it generate the response. So make sure you have recorded and stored the transcript. Okay, so you can see here a while ago I just had a meeting with the customer, shipment updates, and it just had a 1.5 minutes of meeting, and it generated the recording and it generated the transcript as well. Okay, now so once this transcript and the recording is generated, the Copilot for Sales automatically send me this notification in the chat. Okay, and that says open summary. So if I click on the open summary, it takes me to the meeting summary page. Okay, now the interesting thing is that in this meeting summary page, you will see the transcript, you will see the recap of the meeting. So during the 14 second to the 52 seconds, you discuss about this particular thing with the customer. So it will actually display that. And then it analyzes my conversation, and it decided like you are going to create a task with the shipment partner and delivery partner, because during the conversation with the customer I use this term like I'm going to have a follow-up with my shipment partner. Okay, so based on that it automatically provided me the follow-up option. If I click on the create task, it automatically create a task for me if I want to connect to the particular user, and then it will automatically create in the Dynamic 365. Yeah, and you can see like it automatically generates the recording as well. Okay, and it will also show you like it's this particular part the customer doesn't seem to be happy while conversation with the coworker. So it shows the negative sentiments, right? And this particular space it was neutral, and this particular space it was positive. So you can see like how the Copilot actually analyze your conversation with the customer and helps you decide like how you can create the task. It correct the meeting of summary and all. So I have last 3 minutes left. So I'm going to discuss about the sales Copilot for sales licensing. So it's quite confusing, same like the other Power Platform and Dynamics licensing. But I try my best to give you an insight like how the Copilot for sales licensing works. So basically you get 2 options whenever you have to purchase the license for Copilot Copilot for Dynamics 365 sales. One is standard license, Copilot for Sales standard license, and one is Copilot for Sales premium license. Okay. Now Copilot for Sales standard license is nothing. It's just a Copilot capabilities you are already getting in the Dynamics 365 sales. Okay, that means if you already have the Dynamics 365 Sales Enterprise or the Sales Premium license, you don't need to worry about it. You're already using Copilot capabilities. You just need to go to enable that setting. That's it. Okay, so if you have that Sales Enterprise and Premium license, you will get the Outlook features, Copilot Outlook features, Copilot Teams features, and Copilot Sales features. Okay. Okay. Now, if the features are already there in the standard license or in the dynamic sales, then why this premium license is there? Okay, so it's just an add-on. Okay, now why this add-on is? So add-on means in this premium license, you get all the standard capabilities that you already get it free of cost with your Dynamics sales license. Plus, you get Microsoft 365 for Copilot license capabilities as well. Okay, now what is this Microsoft what is this Copilot for Microsoft 365? Because Microsoft for Copilot 360, Copilot for Microsoft 365 is means you are getting the Copilot capabilities in the Word, Excel, and OneDrive, SharePoint, and many other 365 applications, except the Outlook and the Teams. Okay, because for Outlook and Teams you're already getting with the standard license, but you are not getting the PowerPoint, MS Word, and all. So sometimes being a sales co-worker, you work a lot on the Word file, PowerPoint presentation, Excel file, and you also want to get the contextual and personalized data in these kind of applications as well. Then you can purchase an additional add-on called premium license. Okay, and it costs you $50 per month. And in the $50 user per month, the $30 is for Copilot for Microsoft 365. Okay, so that is means $20 for the premium license and $30 for Microsoft 365 Copilot. Okay, so if I go the detailed version of it, so for standard license, you get Dynamic 365 Sales Copilot capabilities, you get the Outlook Copilot capabilities, and you get the Teams Copilot capabilities. But in the premium, you get Outlook, Teams plus Copilot for Microsoft 365. All right, and this is one more version is Microsoft Copilot for Sales included in Dynamic 365 Sales licenses. So there are two versions of it. If you already have the Sales Enterprise license and you are already paying $95, then you already get the Copilot for Sales standard capabilities, but you will not get the premium capabilities. Okay, but if you pay $50 more, then you will get the Copilot for Sales premium capabilities, right? So you need to pay $50 more plus $95, then you will get the premium capabilities. But if you have the Dynamic 365 Sales Premium license, for which you are already paying too much, like $135, then Microsoft is so kind for you. Then you only need to pay only $30 for that, because in this case you don't need to purchase the premium license of Copilot. You only need to purchase the Copilot for Microsoft 365. Okay, and Copilot for Microsoft 365 only charge you $30. So you don't need to pay $20 for premium licenses. All right. Perfect. Now, I already have the Copilot for Microsoft 365 license. Then how much does it cost to get the Copilot for Sales Premium? So as I told you, Copilot for Sales Premium, $20 is for the premium and $30 for the Copilot for Microsoft 365. So if you already have the Copilot for Microsoft 365, that means you don't need to pay $30. You only need to pay $20 for the premium licenses. All right. Another thing, minimum license requirement to use the Microsoft Copilot for Sales premium capability. Now you must have this question in your mind, like why this Copilot for Sales standalone license provided by the Microsoft? Okay, because you can use this with the Salesforce as well. It is not required that you always use the Dynamic 365 Sales the Copilot capabilities. It also provides you the Copilot capabilities in the Salesforce as well. So if you purchase the premium license standalone without using the Dynamic 365 Sales, you can use it for the Salesforce. Yeah. So this is the question, like minimum license required to use the Microsoft Copilot Sales is that Microsoft 365 E3, E5, Business Standard, Premium, and Office 365 E3 and E5. So these license you must have if you have to use the Copilot for Sales Premium licenses. Why? Because in the Copilot for Sales Premium licenses, Copilot for Microsoft 365 licenses is included. And in order to use the Copilot for Microsoft 365, you must have all the Microsoft 365 application available. Then only you can use the Copilot for Microsoft 365, right? Here, the Copilot for Microsoft 365 is just an add-on on top of your Microsoft 365 application, right? So unless you have the Microsoft 365 applications available in your tenant, you will not be able to use the Copilot for Microsoft 365. So that's why it's saying if you need to purchase this standalone license, you must have minimum these licenses available so that you have the Word, Excel, Teams, and everything. Then only you can use these capabilities. Now you must be thinking about what is the difference between standard capabilities and the premium capabilities. You can check this list. So in the standard capabilities, I have already demonstrated everything to you in the Teams, in the Outlook, and in the Dynamic 365. So whatever capabilities I just demonstrated to you, that all are the standard capabilities. Okay. In the premium capabilities, you get some of the additional premium features in the Outlook, in the Teams, like this budget authority need timing analysis. This is currently is not there in the standard capabilities, right? Because I just shown you in the Teams, there was no kind of budget authority or need timing kind of analysis available. But if you purchase this, you get this premium Copilot experience in the Outlook, premium Copilot experience in the Teams, and the major part is you get the Copilot for Microsoft 365 in the PowerPoint, Excel, OneNote, in the Word. That is not there in the standard. In the standard license, you get the Dynamic 365 sales, you have the Outlook, and you have the Teams with the standard Copilot experience. Okay, so this is how the licensing works. And thank you so much for listening this session. And if you have any question, just please let me know. Thank you, everyone, and have a good weekend.
Thank you so much, Arpit, and thank you everyone for attending today. So we are wrapping up now for today's initiation bootcamp for AI for enterprise business applications. We did share the link at the bottom. I'll share it again just for everyone who wants access to the continued learning as well as the resources today. So share it in the chat. I will share my screen once more just for those who are not aware or who may have missed the original announcements that we made regarding other community events taking place in the following weeks. So I'm just going to share my screen once again. Okie dokie. So next month, get them while you can, while the tickets are free. We have the D365 Bootcamp. That's going to be held in Lisbon on April the 27th. We've got the Low Code Power Summit. So if you want to become a low code developer, meaning you want to develop Power Platform solutions, including AI solutions, we have a hackathon. We have 7 tracks of sessions. We've got boot camps all happening on that week. It's a very big week and a very big event taking place in London. Again, that's free. And then we have another event towards the end of the year, focused on Microsoft Graph, cybersecurity, and AI. I just want to thank everyone. I want to thank Narayan, Arpit, and Ambesh for joining today and sharing their expertise. And I want to remind everyone that to please don't forget to join the Microsoft Learn Mentorship initiative. That's very important. These boot camps that we've been doing for almost 10 years now, one of the key things for the attendees that they need to continue their learning and they need to keep that contact, and that's really, really going to help that continued learning from the boot camp. So that's all for today, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. And if you want to get in touch with us, again, it's through that link, that Microsoft Learn link. You'll have direct communication with all of us via a Microsoft Teams channel. So please join, and we will see you soon on Microsoft Learn community and or at one of the community events coming up soon. I want to thank all the attendees. It looks as though we've got attendees joining from all around the world today. That's why we decided to do it more towards the midday. We've got great attendees from America as well as from Europe as well as from USA. So that's really, really good. And I also want to thank Carsten Groth for also supporting and providing his input, sharing some knowledge. Thank you, Carsten, from Microsoft. And thank you all. Have a great weekend. May the power be with you. And I hope this has been a great first step with your learning onto into AI. Narayan, Arpit, Ambesh, sorry, let's switch on our cameras. Sorry, just want to get some final information from anyone else, really. So Arpit,
Yeah. Just
Narayan.
we need to thank you, Raz, as well for providing such a great platform. So this is a Power Community platform is mostly managed by Raz, and a lot of effort goes into it. So thanks, Raz. Thanks for all your effort as well. And yeah, thanks to all of our other speakers and all the attendees. Great questions you have asked. And if you still have any questions, you can join us on our Microsoft Learn room and ask the question again. It will be the same Microsoft Teams experience. So we can always keep you up to date. Any of the details we have or any other new sessions are coming up, you will always come to know from there. Thank you.
Narayan, you also had a barcode to share. Just one last chance to get hold of that, those free vouchers. It'd be great if you could share that once again, just so that people can, who might have joined a bit late, can still enter for that, possibly.
I need the badge, yeah. So
fantastic.
So yeah. There are two things needs to be done. So the QR code I'm actually going to share now. Make sure you scan it, redeem your badge. So it's provided by Microsoft, validated through the Microsoft. So Microsoft has been kind enough to give us that that QR code, and we are running the sessions as a part of the AI challenge going on widely. So you definitely you can validate and put it on a social media. So make sure you do that. But once you join the AI session, so if you complete this AI session, I've shared the link with you, you will get a relevant certification voucher for free. But if you cannot manage to complete due to the workload or anything, or if you have trouble completing anything, we still have 27 days left. So it's got enough time to complete that challenge. But if not, you can always join Learn Room, where we can get you the free voucher for the exams as well, particularly in the AI, which we are have the room align with that, those kind of business applications and AI Copilot. So any sorts of exams coming up, there are new exam announcement has came through as well, 3001, 3002 and 3 or something like that. So there are new exams coming up. And if you are MCT, Microsoft Certified Trainer, and if you are stuck with not having up-to-date information, if you have any trouble with your Microsoft Learn profile or anything, please do let us know so we can widely support you, not only the technology, but in terms of any certification is not visible, we can also support you on that one.
Thank you, Narayan. And also huge thank you to Arpit and to Ambesh as well. Arpit's got a fantastic blog. So make sure you follow Narayan as well as Arpit, as well as Ambesh. Ambesh is covering, in fact, Ambesh is actually completing all his focus on Copilot right now. So he's a really good expert to follow. If you really are heavily involved in Copilot Studio, Ambesh dedicates a lot of time to it. So if you've got any problems or niggling issues, feel free also to get in touch with Ambesh. So thank you once again, all the attendees, for taking your time out today on Kickstarting Learning for AI. And thank you to all the speakers once again, Narayan, Arpit, Ambesh. Also, thank you, Carsten, for your support, Kerry from the Microsoft Learn team, and see you soon. Have a great weekend, guys. Take care.
Thank you. See you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.